What is up? What is up? What is up, everyone? Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Let me know if my mic is working. Let me know if everything is good. How y'all doing today? Here for the culture. Appreciate that. What's going on, Power 96? What's going on, everyone? I know I've been in Mississippi for a while and my internet was janky down there, so I wasn't able to go live as much as I wanted to this past week. And I know it was a lot of good conversations to be had this past week, but I was in the country in Mississippi, so visiting family, so you know how that goes. What's up, everyone? What's going on, Mr. Goodwin? All right, my sound is cool. The real McCoy, Dr. Umar said exactly why just you folks are mad. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. We got to talk about that. Tyree Odom, what's going on with that? What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today, and I wasn't able to talk. I missed so much, y'all. I was like, man, I wish I could talk about this. Internet was so janky though. I wasn't gonna be able to go live. But yeah, it was a lot that happened. A lot of people are mad. We have a subset of, I would say, people that's coming out with anti HBCU statements and tweets, and it's crazy what's been going on this week. I've been seeing this week. It's been really disappointing. Coach Prime, he does have the right to, get a better job if he wanted a better job. But some of the stuff that's been going on this week, man, it's just been really, really surprising to me. I never would have thought that things would have turned the way they have turned. There was a rumor that went around, Facebook post that went around saying Jackson State didn't really pay Coach Prime the money that he was owed. There's a lot of lies and a lot of narratives being pushed out there to make the school look bad. And one thing that I thought was a pleasant surprise was how other HBCUs or other SWAC fans and SWAC alumni and SWAC students, they rally behind Jackson State, which just shows you how much unity HBCUs have. That was beautiful to see. I mean, you had Alcorn, Southern, Grambling folks riding for Jackson State. Like, no, y'all ain't about to do this. Like we can make fun of each other and we can go at each other, but y'all ain't about to y'all not about to do this to one of our own. So I did like the way the SWAC rallied around Jackson State when all this stuff was going on. So the topic of the day is, you know, so Jackson State fans, why they are mad. Jackson State fans aren't mad because Dion left for Colorado. And I think that's where it's getting a lot of confusion online. Like, people think Jackson State are mad because he left. No, it's not because he left. It was the way he left. And it was also the fact that while he was at Jackson State, he was given this sense of, he was promoting this dream that he was gonna change HBCUs, the HBCU football landscape. He was gonna, have the scouts coming in. He was gonna have guys getting drafted from all the HBCUs. He was gonna resurrect the HBCU football like world, pretty much. And so a lot of people bought into that. A lot of people bought into that. But it was some things that happened early on that now, looking back with the benefit of hindsight, you can say, dang, why didn't we see this coming? We should have seen this coming. Like, when I think back now, when he brought in Coach Brewster and he brought in Mike Zimmer, I really sat back and thought about, he wouldn't have been able to bring coaches like that in unless he gave them some kind of assurance that he was going to be moving on, you know. And don't get it twisted. I'm still a fan of Coach Prime. I'm still a fan of Deion Sanders. I'm still a fan of Coach Prime. I don't agree with the way he left. I thought he should have stayed 2 more years, at least stayed to Shadur and Travis Hunter went into the NFL draft. But he has the right to do whatever he wants. He wants to get more money. And I guess Coach Prime probably realized that what I'm trying to do in the HBCU world, it's gonna take at least 10 years to do that. I want to get my son a Heisman. I want him to be in the Heisman conversation. The only way I'm gonna do that is if I'm on the Power 5 level. If I'm, if I'm at a Power 5 school to where the media outlets want to write about my son. They writing about Shadur at Jackson State, but they're reluctantly doing it. Like I just posted something on my Twitter today where Fox Sports is already talking about Shadur is going to be the #1 candidate for the Heisman next year. How crazy is that? We couldn't even get them to write about him this year, but now since he's gone to Colorado, they're talking about he's going to be the #1 candidate to win the Heisman next year. So it's just stuff like that that just makes you realize, dang, like we should have known this was coming, but it kind of slapped us in the face. I really don't like the the attitude or the perception that's been put out of Jackson and Jackson State that we're stealing money and stuff like that. I don't like that because that's a stereotype that's being perpetuated about HBCUs for the longest. Like as soon as you hear something like that about a PWI, people will be like, "Oh, well, let's see what the facts are." But as soon as you put stuff like that out about an HBCU, people gonna automatically think that it's fact. And so I hate whoever put that post out on Facebook, you going about hearsay. I wish they would have really, really checked the facts and really had the facts before they put something out there like that, because people are gonna run with stuff like that because they're ready to crap on HBCUs anyway, and that's just how it is sometimes. But I'm gonna open up the phone lines. I do want to hear what y'all have to say. I do want to yeah, I want to hear what y'all got to say. You call that man a sell. Who Y'all call that man a sellout. I don't think nobody called him a sellout though. A few people called him a sellout, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't say he sold out. If he would have just came at Jackson State in the beginning, would have been like, hey, I'm appreciative of the Jackson State opportunity. I appreciate y'all giving me this opportunity. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna give y'all the best years y'all ever seen while I'm here, and I'm building my resume to be a coach. I don't think anybody would have been mad at him if he would have came in like that. But coming in saying that you're here to resurrect HBCUs, you're here to promote change, you're here to close the gap, you're here to do all this stuff. You created a sense of hope for HBCU people that you're here to level the playing field. We're going to be seeing HBCU players getting drafted more. We're going to see scouts coming to all the campuses more. We're going to see all this stuff. So you can't blame people for thinking that when that's what he was selling. That's what he was selling to the people. And he did the exact opposite. Now think about this: as a player, he's coming into your house or y'all on y'all Skype or whatever, he's saying, hey, don't go to those Power 5 schools. I can get you drafted from this HBCU. Come to where I am. You can make it from an HBCU. You don't have to go to a Power 5 school. And so when he was doing that to people never would have thought that he would leave for a Power 5 as soon as he got the first opportunity to. Now, we always thought that one day he would leave, but when you're preaching stuff like that to recruits, we thought that he was going to be here for a minute, preaching stuff like that to recruits, because as soon as you got your first offer, you're gone, and it may be some stuff behind the scenes that we're not privy to that happened. But I want to say this: I'm okay with him leaving for a better job or a higher paying position, but I just wish that it was done differently. And then, when you're making the videos, it kind of feels like you're rubbing it in Jackson State fans' faces that you're gone now. And it's like you're simultaneously coaching them for the Celebration Bowl. So it's kind of like it's it's a bad situation to me. And it just seems funny to me. But I'm gonna open up the phone line so y'all can call in and let us know what you think. Hold on, y'all. And I know a lot of Coach Prime fans. See, the thing about Coach Prime fans, the thing I realized this week is there are a lot of Coach Prime fans and Deion Sanders fans. Like, idolatry is a big thing in our community. We idolize people. And so to some people, certain celebrities, they can do no wrong. And when you speak out against something that they do, they like to lash out at the people that's going against that person that they find to be, you know, the celebrity or their idol or whatever. Hold on, y'all. Got a call coming in. And that's why you've been seeing such a backlash, because these people idolize Coach Prime. And I understand it. Coach Prime was a hero to me too growing up, you know, but I'm a real person. If I see them see a person that I like doing something wrong, I'm gonna say something about it. I'm not just not gonna say anything about it. All right, hold on, y'all. What's going on? Call you live, talk to me.
Hey, buddy, I'm just calling. I'm not mad at Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, for leaving Jackson State. I'm happy for him, because I just feel like this. My personal opinion, I feel like everybody wanted to see Jackson State play against the better team, the Power 5 team. Now we get to see what Deion Sanders can do when he plays better competition, like TCU. I've seen the schedule. They play TCU, USC, UCLA. Now you get to see what can he do when he coaches Power 5 school. So I'm excited to see, can he have that same success that he has at Jackson State at a Power 5 school. So I think a lot of people, when he was at Jackson State, saying, well, we want to see him play the Alabamas, the Power 5 schools. Now he at a Power 5 school, they're not happy. So I just called him and say, if people are not going to be happy no matter what he do in his life. So I just feel like now he had a Power 5 school. He got better resources. He got a better facility, better weight room, better everything. Let's see what he do in the Pac-12. Let's see if he can run the Pac-12 like he did at Jackson State. No, Jackson State, he was undefeated 2 years in a row. Now let's see, can he do that with Colorado? Let's see if he now if he's really a great coach, he can turn Colorado a 1-11 team. He can turn around. He can turn them to Jackson State. So let's see what he do it. Let's see with Colorado. Let's see if he can get it.
So you're speaking from a neutral fan's perspective, and that's fine.
Yeah,
because most neutral fans want to see their fans of Coach Prime and their fans of whatever he's trying to do. They want to see him go to a Power 5 and do well. You know, Jackson State fans, they have an emotional attachment to the institution. So of course, that's why they were a little upset about how he left. I don't think Jackson State fans would have been upset if he came in the door saying, hey, you know, this is a resume builder. I'm building my resume up, you know, and while I'm here, I'm going to give y'all the best years of my life.
Okay, and this is what y'all not understand.
Yeah.
When Deion Sanders had an interview, whoever he had an interview with, the guy that interviews be funny with, he had an interview. He said he happy that he moved. He said he moved up for his assistant coaches. He said they was underpaid. And if you watch the interview, he said, in like 2 years, he said this coach is going to be millionaires. He said he always wants them to get paid. He always wants them to be compensated for what they do.
Okay, but you knew that when you took the job, though. You knew that when you took the job at Jackson State. So if that's what it was, you knew that coming in the door. So don't come in saying that you're going to be a messiah or you're going to save HBCUs if that's what your goal was. You know, if you wanted to get your assistants more money, just come in and be like, hey, you know, I'm here to, you know, build my resume. I'm here to get the experience that I need so I can make it to a level that I want to get to. And I guarantee you, Jackson State fans wouldn't have been mad. We'd have been like, oh, okay, we're not gonna have him that long. Let's milk it for what we can milk it for. We wouldn't have been mad.
I just think that I'm a Jackson State fan. I love HBCU even before Coach Prime came. So I love FAMU. I love Jackson State even before Coach Prime came. My only thing was when he was at Jackson State, I wanted to see I want him to stay at Jackson State, but I'm happy that he moved on. I personally want him to stay at Jackson State to see what he could do if they play a Power 5 at Jackson State. I want them to line up with Alabama, like everybody kept saying. Let them line up with a Power 5 at Jackson State and see what happens. See, I wish he would have stayed till got to the FCS playoffs, played a Power 5 team, and let's see what happens. But my thing is, he left too soon to see what it could have been if he would have played a Power 5 team or if he would have went to the FCS. I at least want him to stay until the school got to the FCS playoffs and they got the recruits, like he said, like he kept saying at SWAC media. Well, we're not ready to play a Power 5. We don't have the offensive line. We don't have the resources yet. We don't have that. Give me like 2 or 3 years. So I feel like if he was saying 2 or 3 years, like even at the meeting, he was like, give me 2 or 3 years and we align with Alabama. I want him to live up to his word, and like at the media, I want him to live up to his word. But I know money talks. That's what everybody's saying. That's why he wants to go to Celebration Bowl. He says more money in the Celebration Bowl. So I understand. when you throw money at a black man, they go for anything. So I feel like it was a money thing. I feel like if Jackson State would have matched the money that Colorado would do, he would have stayed.
There's no way they could have happened. Yeah, there's no way they could have happened. Yeah, but
I feel like he know a lot of people, so they could have reached out to donate. They could have reached out to all the that come to the game. But can you help us out? Can you donate this? Can you donate this? Anything. Because Coach Prime is a known figure. He know a lot of celebrities. He know a lot of people. So the school could have reached out to anybody to listen. Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, anybody that came to the game. Can you donate $1 million? Can you donate for Coach Sanders to stay?
Well, how do we know he didn't do that? He might have did that, and they just didn't do it. They didn't donate. You know. Yeah. I mean, people
I heard
that.
I heard that they reached out to. I heard that too. I heard that he reached out. They reached out to LeBron. They reached out to everybody said no. So I heard it's like it's a bunch of stuff going around on YouTube that they asked a lot of celebrities to help them donate. They tried to do fundraisers and everybody said no. So I don't know. I hope he can see. I hope he do right in Colorado. My thing was I want to see what he can do at the Power 5. I want to see can he run a table in a Pac-12 like he did at SWAC. Now if he go undefeated this year at Colorado and win,
that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome to see a black coach do that. I have no problem with Coach Prime doing good in the Power 5. I just have a problem with the way he left and the stuff that's going on in the media and the fact. Go ahead.
I know you got other callers. After I say this, I will let you go. I know you got other callers. My thing is right now, I am kind of upset, but I'm happy at the same time because my whole thing was about this whole process. But I want to see what he do when he play the big boys. My thing is now he can't run now. He can't. It ain't like it's like how he said in the media. We're not ready. Well, even if they're not ready now, then he got to go play UFC. He got to go play TCU. It ain't no hype now. It ain't no we ain't ready. We ain't ready. It ain't no we ain't ready now. Like he said in Jackson State, well, give me 2 years. And then we get like and then like I told you, I watched the media. In the media, he said, give me 2 years and I will schedule a Power 5 with my schedule. Now he can't run from the Power 5. TCU coming the first game of the season, and then I think they got Air Force, and I think they got UCS.
They got Oregon. They got Oregon and Nebraska. He gonna play some good schools. So we'll definitely see what they made of. But let me get to some of these other callers. Thank you for calling.
All right, thank you, buddy. Take my call.
All right, let me get to the next one. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. Caller, you live? Talk to me. All right, I'm going to the next one. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, I just wanted to talk about the whole sellout thing because I think a lot of people have a problem with that word. So my question is, what is a sellout? You know, the definition of a sellout is a person who compromises his or her personal values, integrity, talent, or the like for money or personal advancement. That sounds like exactly what Deion did. It's very simple. If you don't want to be called a sellout, don't sell out.
But I think that's one of the worst things.
Everybody.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things you could call a black man. So I feel like that kind of triggered him and a lot of people, a lot of his fans, because a sellout is one of the worst things you can call a black man, other than the C word. You know, a sellout is one of the worst things. So you could tell that bothered him when he was hearing that, even during the press conference. That's why he touched on it. But I don't know if I would necessarily say he sold out. He did well. I don't know what. So you think he sold out?
This is why. This isn't to be mean-spirited to Deion. This is why. Because if you look at it, the only thing that Colorado actually has to offer that Jackson State doesn't is money.
Yeah.
Literally, the better team right now is probably Jackson State. Yes. The more talented team is probably Jackson State. The bigger brand right now is probably Jackson State. Not even probably, it is. What I'm saying is all of these things, the only thing that Jackson State didn't have was money. So they didn't have the finances that could compete with a Colorado. That's the only reason to leave, but that's exactly why you said you came to Jackson State, to level that playing field. Mm-hmm. So you sacrificed your integrity and what your mission was and did it about face and did the opposite. And even worse, you preached to everybody else to do that. You preach to the Isaiah Lands. You preach to the Travis Hunters. You preach to the Nugget Warrens, to the Kevin Colemans, who all took those same tours and turned down the money, and then you couldn't do it. So what I'm saying is that is selling out. And what I'm saying is I think what people have a problem with, especially these celebrities, is they don't want to be held to that standard of where they have to be accountable when they make those decisions. So they don't want to be held accountable either. And then these working class bootlicks, they aspire to be a Dion and be in those situations, and they don't want to have to worry about being accountable to me or you or the people of Jackson or just the Black community, period. That's why they have a problem with it. But by definition, it's exactly what he did. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with what you're saying. But I would say this: Colorado has a higher ceiling than Jackson State right now. So that may be what was attracting him was the ceiling. Because think about it. Yeah, let me explain to you. If he replicates what he did at Jackson State at Colorado, the media is going to give them more attention. You're already playing top level Power 5 schools, so your games and everything is going to be more widespread. Merch and all that kind of stuff, all the websites, they're going to be trying to sell your merch more now than they were reluctant to do with HBCU. I think Fanatics just put Shadur jersey on their website like a month or so ago. They would do that quickly at Colorado. So it's a lot of perks that go with that. Now, I agree with you what you're saying, that if you want to build up his community, you're doing it for Colorado. These a lot of white people in Colorado are about to make millions off of the back of Black players, these Black coaches, and Deion Sanders. And the population of the Black people at that school is like 1.5%. So most of the Black people at the school are athletes. So it's just in bad taste, and it looks bad for our people to go to a white institution and build them up and make them millions instead of trying to. You might have to struggle a little bit to build something for Black people to be able to come to and that can exist and go into a future and be a good program like Jackson State. Like, you might not be able to make as much money at Jackson State, but you can build this thing into a juggernaut in the future to where we have our own and we don't have to go to them to make them millions and to pursue our dreams.
Yeah. But what I will challenge you on is, you said the ceiling is higher over there, and I get what you're saying, why you say the ceiling is higher, but I think it's all how you look at it. I think a lot of the lore, the long-lasting lore or whatever, isn't with the Colorado move. Even if he's successful, it would not mean the same. Like, if he made the college football playoffs, it would be big. I'm not saying it wouldn't be big.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would be as big as if Jackson State moved up to the FBS or Power 5 conference or anything like that in their first game against a Texas or against Alabama or something like that. I think it would mean more. It would be bigger. Even Shador's brand, to a large extent, a lot of it is built on the fact that if he is playing for us and this is a movement, I think once you take the movement aspect out of it and then you factor into how much winning is Colorado really going to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the ceiling is higher there than it is here. I mean, maybe I'm looking at it from a bias, of being a part of the community and wanting to see Jackson State and HBCUs win. But I do think that even just his personal lore and the personal appeal that he would have, if he were able to pull off Jackson State rising to those ranks, would just be bigger. And I think it just goes to, do you want it done now or do you want it done right? And I think he just wanted it done now. But if he would have put in the time, and if he did stay 3 or 2 more years or whatever, and could you imagine if Travis Hunter and Shador came out in the same draft and all those Jackson State players at the combine? It would mean more than a Colorado player to me.
I agree with you. What I'm saying, when I say ceiling, I mean like right now. So right now, they were talking about Shadur being the number 1 candidate for the Heisman. That's what I mean by ceiling. Like, they're gonna do more to push that brand, his brand, out there while he's at Colorado instead of Jackson State.
But
now, if he would have stayed at Jackson State, If he would have stayed at Jackson State, he would have been able to get what he's getting now. But it would have took some time for him to build that up. He wants it. He wants it now.
But what I'm saying is, what he's doing right now and what he would have the ability to do here transcends an award. It transcends Heisman. You are changing the course of college sports from here on out. That's bigger than a one-year annual award. To me, there's a lot of Heisman winners we don't care about. There's people at that podium or at that event last night I didn't care about. I knew Caleb Williams was going to win or whatever, and he won, and time will go on. But what I'm saying, though, Jackson State being a powerhouse, the SWAC being a dominant fixture in college football, I think that means more. I think that transcends.
I don't think he cared about that. I think he cares about right now. I think he cares about
and that's my whole thing. But you didn't sell that in the beginning.
Hold on.
Which is why.
Let me say this real quick. I think he cares about his son winning the Heisman, his son being a top pick in the draft. I think that's where his mindset is at. So he's saying, where can I go to make sure my son gets chosen high in the draft when he can compete for the Heisman, and where I can, get the biggest recruits I can get. And I think that's what his mind frame was at, and that's why he made the jump. But
what about Travis Hunter's parents and her son, and Kevin Coleman's parents and their son? What about all these other parents and their sons that put their trust in you, that put the lives of their child in your hands and change course? You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than just you and yours. What I'm saying, this movement was bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? And as Black people, we got to stop caring up just about our family when it's blood on the line. You are accountable to the community, and I don't think he likes that. But yeah, we do have something to say, and you can do what you want, but we can feel a way about it.
All right. Well, appreciate the call. Let me get to the next caller. All right. What's going on, Caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, what up, man? This is Jerome from Charlotte. Just wanted to call in and give a different perspective. For me, looking back on some of these video clips, man, like case in point, a couple weeks ago, he did a viral interview with some podcasters on YouTube, and they specifically asked him, do you want to see Jackson State go FBS? He was very specific in his answer, you know what I'm saying? Like, he talked about him being all in for it. They asked him what conference. He was saying, it really doesn't matter, like the Power 5 we go to, as long as we don't have to struggle anymore and the entire school can eat, the entire school can be all right. And when you look at other interviews, case in point, it was a SWAC coaches call, they do them every Monday. And week 3, he came on kind of late. He apologized. Week 3 was after the Southern Heritage Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And he came on, he apologized for being late. He said, right now I'm in Colorado. That was week 3. And, other reports are saying, he's been in negotiation with them since, the summertime. My thing is, man, I'm with you. Had he came in and said, hey, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
Cool. But just the verbiage and the language that he's using, kind of resonated with a lot of people that he was in it for more than 2 years at Jackson State.
And I'm shocked, man. I'm shocked.
I'm
shocked. I would never have thought. When I thought of Deion, and maybe it was crazy of me, and maybe it was foolish of me, but I was thinking of him like a Muhammad Ali type figure in the Black community.
Right.
You're bringing up Black schools, bringing up the HBCU community. So I thought he was going to be fighting for our people, and for him to do this, it's just like, what? Like, I never seen this coming. I know people were joking and saying that this was going to happen, and I'm disappointed. As a Deion fan, I'm disappointed because I never would have thought that this would happen. And if it would have happened, I thought he would have gave us time and actually set up everything for him to make that move and not just do it abruptly. Go ahead.
But you know what, man? Like, you brought up another interesting point. Like, when I go back and look at stuff, I should have seen it coming.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's say, that Coach Pond documentary, I should have known this nigga was cap, man, when, we had, like, when he first came, we had the ice storm all over the South. The water pressure was kind of low in Jackson. But he was staying at a hotel in Madison. They had plenty of good water. And this dude was in the freaking swimming pool taking a bath with all his fucking clothes on. Like,
let's try to keep the
camera.
language clean.
Oh,
but
my
go
bad,
ahead.
man. But yeah, man, I mean, and you look at some other things, like, the fact that Tracy Edmonds' fiance wanted to reboot College Hill at Jackson State. The president told them no. And then, the whole situation, with allegedly his items getting stolen. And he knew, his staff had moved his stuff. But I think that's where the breakdown started to come. And I feel like he was doing a lot of that stuff for the cameras, for his reality show. And when you kind of keep going, kind of find out,
Now, this is all alleged because we don't know this for fact now. So you're just giving your opinion. Let me make sure you say that. Yeah.
And then, I'm saying, like, supposedly, so Shiloh's car was vandalized, but it was in broad daylight. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody do that, like, not by a yard like that. It's just a lot of stuff, man, just seemed really, really capped for his reality show to try to control the narrative and to have, extra reasons as to why he was leaving on his way out. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I think I went through all 5 stages of grief. And I'm ready for Jackson State to go ahead and name the new coach. Hopefully this week, by the latest, Monday after the Celebration Bowl. But, for him to come in, and like you said, he never said he was Messiah. Yeah. But, come on, bro. Like, don't sit up here and do recent interviews as recent as a couple of weeks ago, talking about you going to get Jackson State, to the FBS and you down for the ride or whatever. And then for the fact that he is yet to come out and dispel any of these untruths, the fact that he was getting paid over $1.5 million from Jackson State per year, he ain't talking about that. His staff, their assistants, they were the highest paid assistants at FCS. He ain't talking about that. So it's like this narrative he's trying to push, but I get it from a PR standpoint on JSU side. Sometimes, the best response is no response. But I'm proud, like you said, I'm proud of the HBCU community, for coming out and swinging for Jackson State all this week. But we shouldn't have had to. And to me, it's like another black. You see, like on social media, it's like a lot of I hate black men type posts and black men ain't ish. I feel like Dion is another example of that. It kind of fuels that fire, and it really sucks. But I'm really proud to see the short list of coaching candidates. I got full faith in Ashley, to make the right decision. Mm-hmm. But to see non-HBCU folk have this attitude towards HBCU folk, y'all just need to be thankful. You know what I'm saying? Like they want us to sit in the corner and be quiet. And I'm like, yo, like, and it's not just coming from white folks, it's coming from black people. Yeah. So, it's all good, man. Like we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be more than all right. We're definitely in a way better situation than we were in 2020. And we're gonna hit that portal hard. Next coaching staff's gonna be tight. And we're not gonna skip a beat, but there's definitely damage that needs to be cleaned. So that's all I got.
All right. Appreciate the call. Let me get the next person on. All right, let me get my guy, Mr. Ford, on. Mr. Ford, I'm ready to hear what you got to say. What's going on, Mr. Ford?
Hey, let me turn it down. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I want to express my condolences to the Southern University family for the loss of the 3 band members in a horrific car crash. And next, I want to express congratulations to Grambling for another Power 5 win for the men's program. And I want to say that that's why I ain't spending my time talking about Dion no more now. As far as I'm concerned, Dion is history. The most important person, I think that the most important persons that we should be talking about right now is A.D. Ashley Robinson and President Hudson. Now, my mom was a coach. My dad was a coach. I've been around coaching all my life. Let me tell you something when the coaches leave. When coaches leave and they are replaced, the person who replaced them will either be less than them, will be equal to them, or will be greater than them. Okay? And so what I'm saying, I'm waiting and I'm anticipating the move that's going to be made next by A.D. Ashley Robinson. I do believe that he's going to call the shot. I think once he picks his person, he will take it to the president, and then the president will rubber stamp it, and it will begin a new era. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking. The word here in Atlanta is that they're going to name the coach either before the Celebration Bowl or directly right after the Celebration Bowl. And so that's what I'm looking forward to, because I believe that.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So people been arguing with me. Some people were saying that they just need a coach that could come in and win, and I argue that they need a coach that has a name that can keep the exposure going and that has connection with the NFL, that can keep NFL scouts coming to Jackson State, and that can go into a 4-star recruit's home and get him to commit to a HBCU. That's what I've been saying. They need somebody with a name and a following to keep that going. But some people want them to go back to the way the SWAC was before Coach Brian came, with just get traditional coaches that's going to be there for years and years and years. I don't think that's the way Jackson State needs to go. I think they need to keep this thing going until they build it up, and then you can go back to the traditional route after you've built that brand up and then took it as far as you can take. Go ahead, Ms. Ford.
Right. Now, SWAC, let me say this. I'm biased. You know, my sister worked with TC at North Carolina Central. Now, you know, I'm just going to be honest with you. My sister was crazy about it. I had a player that I sent out to Jackson State who played with TC. He's here in Atlanta right now. We are all pulling for TC.
But can't
be honest with you. We want TC to get.
But can TC go into a 4-star recruit's house and get him to commit to a HBCU? I don't see that.
I don't know.
I don't see that.
I don't know.
I like TC. I like
right.
TC.
We do need. We do. Yeah, you do want somebody that, you know, we always say, you know, you're good when the mama come out and say, yeah, I know you. You know, so I'm just saying, I'm biased. Like I said, you know, we know TC was at North Carolina Central with the guy named Jerry Mack, and we knew Jerry, we knew TC. Coach Eastland, he was on the Maynard staff. He was on that staff too. But yeah, I see your point. I'm just waiting. That to me, like I said, I don't want to talk about Coach Prime no more. My thing right now is the most important people right now is AD Ashley Robinson, who I got all of the confidence in. I've watched him pick coaches, and he does a fabulous job. And it's about him, and it's about President Hudson, because I disagree with this stuff. Some of the people are saying that Jackson State ain't going to win no more. I think that's a lie. I think that you have to understand, Coach Prime was there basically 2 years. Those 2 years don't compare to the Bob Hill era. If you go back and look at what Bob Hill did, does not compare to the W.C. Gordon era. So these people who are saying that Jackson State ain't going to win no more, I'm just going to straight out tell you, telling a lie. That's a lie. But my thing is, it's up to A.D. Ashley Robinson and President Hudson. And right now, I'm going to be honest with you, I feel good that they are going to pick a person who will bring a staff, and that staff will continue to be a championship staff. Now, that's how I'm optimistic about the next person. I feel that whoever the next person is will be good. If TC doesn't get it, I'm still for that person.
Right.
But I'm just going to be honest with you, Spike. We know TC. And when you know how
I would like him to be on staff. I would like him to stay on staff.
Yeah. I just want to
figure
I like him to be the head coach, either one. But like I said, the most important person to me right now is A.D. Ashley Robinson. It's the ball is in his court.
All right.
The ball is in his court.
All right. Let me get to this
now,
call.
Did you want me to stay on, or did you want me to? What do you want me to do?
Well, you can stay on, or you can call back in later.
Okay.
It's on you.
Okay.
Let me get to this next call.
I'll just stay on. You just let me know you want to say something.
All right. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
What's going on, Sweat Buzz?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, man. Your call line, I was like waiting in line for the Jordan, man.
right.
Yeah, man. But thank you for taking my call. I just want to say a few things, man. So, my perspective on Deion leaving, man, is like this, man. I don't think the man is a sellout. I think the man did great things. I think people need to look at their perspective. that some people are in our life permanent, some people are in our life temporary. It's the impact that matters. And these people that, man, that's thinking it's a spiritual situation or they giving a spiritual outlook, I wonder if people ever thought about that the calling from God was really for a perspective for people to see it for where they are. He probably was just a catalyst for people to wake up and open their eyes to see where they are. That man came to a rich and traditional place on the platform, and he was a rich and traditional person with his platform, and it was one to another. He added on the Jackson State what they already had, and they added to Dion what he already had, and both elevated. The time is now for the AD, the commissioner of the SWAC, the president, all to move forward and keep the media attention on Jackson State and HBCUs. They don't need to settle for TC. They need to go get another high-end caliber coach like Ray Lewis or Ed Reed or somebody like that, or big name, transitional white coach. Another thing is the commissioner needs to get together with the other HBCU, do the same thing that the doctor, I think it's Dr. Dennis, that used to be the MEAC conference commissioner, how he made the Celebration Bowl. He can get with the other conferences, the 4 conferences, and make a media contract where they have a 4 playoff team for the HBCUs. The time is now. Dion left it hot. He basically just refurbished the vintage car that the SWAC is. He remodeled some things because the frame was already there, and he handed the keys. The man contract was only 1 more year. Whether he left now, he left then. The man did a great job. And 2, we don't know that he may not even be done helping Jackson State. He might do some host games like he was talking about, the HBCU selling for less money to go play these bigger teams. Who's to say he won't do an annual game where Jackson State plays Colorado so he can give back to the university in that way and be $1 million or $2 million?
He already said he wasn't going to do that.
Hello?
Yeah, he already said that he doesn't like money games and that wouldn't be fair to Jackson State. So he already said that he don't plan on playing a money game with Jackson State.
Okay. Well, like I said, man, I just think that he done a lot. The man has done a great job. To call that man a sellout is horrible. And 2, he can't be both. They can't say he wasn't SWAC and then he's a sellout. Either he is or he's not. And then on top of that, my thing is he wasn't. It's good that he wasn't because of again, the man came in and added to something that wasn't his and treated it like it was his own. And 2, he gave you another perspective. And like I said, man, to me, it was just a face-to-face for the HBCUs and Jackson State to see that we are already rich in tradition. Go forth with this polishing that this man has given us. Go with these venues, Barstool, ESPN, anybody like that, and go towards, man, getting these media rights and make sure that the attention stays on us because it's still hot. It's still hot. And, the man is not fake. He ain't doing nothing else what other coaches have done. The only difference from him is he got a media team that's following him what he does. Other coaches always do everything else, but, man, he's just being real. But Dion did a great job. Jackson State not going to lose any tradition. They're going to gain what they got, and they can keep going and make even more money. But thanks for taking my call.
All right, thank you for the call. Get to the next person. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, SWAC Buzz. This is Erica Spearman. How you doing, sweetie?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm already just a little feed off, but JSU is my school. I'm alumni, and every time I come to a game, I talk to you on your channel. Sending supplies, 2 truckloads, even when we go away. Now, because Gilly is my cousin, I did get a chance to have a conversation with a small group of kids. My whole thing is, as a parent, if you take on the responsibility of these children and you tell them to trust you, and even so, you said some of them had tendencies to suicide because a man or their mother walked out their life. The way he told those kids all year round, don't believe in the hype, don't believe what you hear, but what they heard was the truth. All year round, all season. So how are they supposed to focus on a celebration bowl when you plastered all over the news with your new school, but you want to come back and coach them like they are by the way kind of people? Not only that, are you taking some of the people with you and some of the coaches, but what about the ones that's going to be left that brought into what you were saying? Are they supposed to feel good about it? Now they go right back to, this person walked out on me too. So am I good enough? Am I enough? What was the reason why he did this? Because you claim it's not for the bag. But yet, every time you got to walk around, it was always, oh, this pool get hot and this get this, and what you want done there, as if JSU never mattered. So talking to the students, yeah, that's a problem for me, because like I said, I'm a mom and a grandma. And tell me what the ugly truth is, except for a pretty lie. You had a pretty lie all season long. And the fact that you plastered everywhere, and the boys sitting here like that, we won and we did stuff, but that's being overwritten by what he's doing now.
Yeah.
When it's not all about him. If it wasn't for the boys coming together, regardless of who he was, it still wouldn't make a difference. You went into your lily white place, 1-11 team. I wish him all the best. I never wish nobody no ill will. Stop walking out on these kids. Give them the truth from the door. A lot of people, I'm sure, would not be pissed off, because I talked to some fans too. The same thing. Boys is hurt. Are we not good enough?
Yeah.
Always talk about broken homes and all this stuff he talked about, but you turn around and did the same thing to them. And then you took shit over. A lot of them didn't know that either. And they supposed to protect you in the Celebration Bowl and really care. What about them? Aubrey, they leave the school. NFL, he needs to be in the NFL first round. That man can play. That young man.
Yeah,
he's
going to the NFL. He's going to the NFL.
Oh,
well, yeah, so
definitely.
One thing that's crazy is that, Coach Prime is taking a lot of the coaches. So, I mean, how can you keep the culture there if all your coaches are going to be gone? Because you take it, Brewster.
Exactly.
Somebody just said in the chat that Bartolone got a position there. Dennis Thurman. I think he's on leaving Coach Flea and the Geeks, Coach O, TC Taylor. So
yep, SWAC. This is that. Now you see what I'm talking about. It's like, to me, you're talking about the city and everybody brought into you. I remember homecoming. It was not a place to stand your toes, because you was toe to toe with people. That was the most electrifying atmosphere. And to see Shiloh's face, he was engrossed in the culture. He is not happy with the way his father did this. He is not happy at all. And that's the only one I would speak his name, because there were a core group of them. He's not happy with his father at all. And I could understand why. As being a young adult, you telling me to sit with my brothers and do X, Y, Z, but look at what you're doing. It's not about the bag or the amenities, but that's the first thing you broadcasted on TV. And you think these kids supposed to give a damn about you got a pool, a heated pool, and anything else? How were they supposed to feel when you walked out on them, just like everybody else did? And that's my biggest thing. It's like, it's not about the fact that you left and where you went. It's how you did it. It's so trifling. Telling them to not buy into what the people saying, but the people was telling the truth all season long. He should have told them that from the door. There's some broken kids out there on that team, and I for one am upset. I don't like it. I'm going to be at the game and support them kids. Well, you already know. The trucks is already on their way there. I'm not worried about that. They even, doctors and stuff, the nurses packed up school supplies. We passed even on the bus for the kids in the city of Jackson. I'm coming from Philly. I don't live around the corner. But I'm going to stick to my word, because my word is all you have for me. You understand what I'm saying? So stand on it. Stop BSing these kids. You talking about they supposed to be a man and affect change. Well, when you don't like something, you help to change it. So in your case, you didn't help to change. You just walked away to something better. My last word. God forbid anything happen in place. You know they're going to cut him first. So I hope he watch what he's doing and watch his step and his footsteps.
All right.
And you have a best wishes to everybody. Be safe.
All right. Thank you for the call. All right. Let me get to the next person. What's going on? Call you live. Talk to me. All opinions are welcome. I'm not gonna tell anybody how to think. I just want to let y'all go in and let y'all say how y'all feel. What's going on? Call you live. Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I just wanted to say, well, first of all, your perspective on this is pretty balanced, and you identify both sides of the argument.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that the Dion fans, they stick to an argument that you already identify, that nobody is against him taking a job. Nobody. As a matter of fact, we're all actually happy for him. It's just that the only thing that comes into question is, what was your intention when you were saying these things to make people think these other things? And we do have a right to think that he was going to you know, do something big or be part of a bigger movement, because that's what he said. As a matter of fact, he recruited players that, like you said, to Jackson State, you know, with the idea that, you know, we're changing the narratives, we're going to do something big, and you identified, another caller I identified, is that these players, the actuality is, you know, they got a lot of attention because they went to Jackson State.
Right.
So it's interesting to see how it's going to go when they're at just a regular school. But the other thing I wanted to say is Dr. Omar. I heard him the other day. His perspective was very interesting. There's a lot he says, and the way he said it, I'm not too crazy about. But he made very, very good points, and he supported his points. So I think, you know, everybody just needs to realize that, you know, we're happy for Dion. We wish him the best. You know, but, you know, when you come to an HBCU or to anywhere, you know, just be straight up. You know, just be like, you know, I'm here temporarily. I'm here for the time being. When the time comes, I will move. But, you know, I didn't know Dion before or anything. I'm not really big into football. I'm just starting to pay attention to the game. But he really pulled one over all of us. We all fell for the okie doke. You know, we got excited and everything, but life goes on, and, you know, I think Jackson State is going to do well. The SWAC is going to do well. We've been doing well before Dion, compared to other FCS schools, so it's no big deal. But here's one question I have for you is, I realize oftentimes when we talking about something, we quick to say that's the problem with our community, that's the problem with Black people, that's the problem with HBCUs, not realizing that this is a problem in a lot of communities. It's a problem with a lot of FCS schools. Football is expensive to manage, expensive to run, you know, so it's not something that's financially lucrative compared to the, you know, the Power Five. So to me, it's not an HBCU issue, but I think we bought in with the narrative that if it has to do with our community.
Hold on. Let me respond to this. So somebody said, let me put this comment up. So this is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm talking about. Let me pull this comment up. Y'all wanted him to do all the work. That's Black folks for you. No, it's not. No, that's not what we're saying.
Here's my point.
We're saying you didn't have to come in saying that you was gonna do this and do that. You could have just came in and said, hey, I'm happy for the opportunity. While I'm here, I'm going to try to make Jackson State into a winner. And I'm here to build my resume and to get experience as a coach and hopefully take my career to the next level. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do. And I guarantee you, Jackson State fans wouldn't have been like, oh, well, this and that. They wouldn't have felt no kind of way about it. They'd have been like, all right, well, while we got them, we need to capitalize on it and do as much as we can with it. You know, it wouldn't have been none of that other stuff. It's not Black folks just wanting him to do all the work. It's just we're being realistic. The things that you were saying when you came in, it didn't pan out the way you was talking. The way you was talking when you came in, and this move that you made, it doesn't coincide. That's what I'm saying. But let me get to
that proves my point.
Well, let me get to the next call. Appreciate you calling.
Thank you. Wonderful show.
All right, let me get to the next person. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, SWAC boys, this Power 96, better known as the Big Chief of Roney.
What's
all
going on?
Cheese and no baloney. I got what you need, but I just don't got it on me. Let me give you a little game real quick.
Go ahead.
Brother, when did the NIL start? 3 years ago, correct?
Yeah. No, it started.
Who became the coach 3 years ago at Jackson State?
2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago, right when Deion Sanders took over.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
This was all about economics and design. Deion came there to preach that Black Power dream. He preached it well. He sold a whole HBCUs and definitely the SWAC community on it. Okay? Now, once that revenue started kicking in, that governor, Kate Reeves, that senator, Cindy, I call her Hang'em High Smith, you know, she took a picture with the Confederates. Them folks got together we got to get this Negro out of Jackson. And they got him out of Jackson. It wasn't the way we wanted it. You know, and for all y'all people talking about alumni not donating, y'all need to check the PWIs and see how much they really donate to their schools. Their revenue comes from them black bodies playing football, basketball, running track. You need to go ahead and look at a Ole Miss or Mississippi State. I'm talking about in the state of Mississippi. See how much them football programs bring in. See, Jackson State start creeping up on their level, sir. Once they start getting in them $4 and $5 million of revenue to a city of Jackson, the powers that be, and I'm talking about Tate Reeves, so I ain't gonna say that power or this power. I'm talking about Tate Reeves, Cindy Hangham-Smith, Roger Wilkins, these politicians. Why do you think that the city of Jackson right now has a lawsuit against the state and the EPA is suing the city of Jackson? It's all about economics. That's what we're not looking at. I think this just Power 96 opinion. I think Deion Sanders meant well, but once he got into it, he did not understand Mississippi politics. They would rather see Jackson State burned and fall to the ground before they let a black man come up in there and raise it up. You know, if the governor wants to give Jackson State $5-10 million a year or whatever it may be, because we know they're always underfunded on purposely. But if the governor was to give it to them, they'll be okay. But you can't let a black person come up in there and do that. I don't think Deion Sanders understood that, because Deion Sanders, and I'm not making fun of nobody that went to a PWI, he has never had to deal with going with an HBCU college. That, you know, he went to Florida State, never wanted for nothing up in there. You know, from the food to the dorm or anything. I hope I'm making sense or trying to make sense to somebody out there. But this thing is way bigger than Coach Prime. And and I understand what you're talking about, getting a name, but I'm telling you, if they get another big name to come up in Jackson State, another pro, not on the level as Deion, but somewhere around that Deion level, the next PWI is going to offer money. Colorado got what they wanted. They don't even have the money to pay for Deion, but they had a senator to back him up, to back their AD up. Say, hey, we'll find a way to get the money. Now, I don't like the shot that Deion said that, you know, Colorado is basically crime free. I know that was a shot at Jackson. Hell, ain't nobody crime free. And when you really get a hold to it, just remember one thing. Remember the story of OJ. That's the only thing I can say to Deion. You have a good day, brother.
All right. Thank you for the call. All right. Let me get to the next call in here. Interesting perspectives. I'm going to let y'all go. Hold on just a second. What's going on, Cardi Live? Talk to me.
And hello, I'm sorry. I'm here. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello? Oh, yeah.
You're going to have to turn the background down because you're going to be responding to that instead of what's on the phone.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it down. I'm sorry about that.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry right there. I got it right now. Thank you. So first of all, I want to say thank you for Mr. Ford for giving us so much enlightenment all throughout the season. That's what I've been calling him for. He's well and excellent in what he shares with us. I just want to share one thing, well, two things. The first thing is what I'm really sad about is that we really didn't get to celebrate the team and their win because of the move that happened. Yeah. So that was the hardest part for me, watching bits and pieces and seeing the young men's faces and then knowing like they didn't even get to shine in this moment, being 12-0. So I really felt that was a slight for them and all they've been through. And also, a lot of us are alumni of HBCUs, and the attention was brought to all of them. And we've got a lot of great people that come out of HBCUs, not just athletes, but also on the intellectual side of things. We've raised engineers, we got the vice president. So we have a lot to be that good things that do happen there. There are some challenges, but some of that goes according to the states that they're in and not giving them the funding that they're due. And the other thing is that, so we have they're moving around a lot of funding that's owed to us. And a lot of PWIs, some of them have big endowments especially if you're thinking about a Harvard or other school. So yes, some of their alumni are donating back, but that's because they're getting a job. So it's a lot that goes on to it, and it's nothing that we're lacking. But I'm still going to continue to be a Jackson football fan and watch you, and I hope you stay with it and keep us abreast of everything that's going on.
All right. Thank you for the call. All right, let me get to the next person. What's going on? Call you live. Talk to me.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing? You live. Talk to me.
Okay. All right. So somebody else is talking now on YouTube.
Yeah, so it's a delay. So there's going to be a little behind. So you need to cut that off.
Okay. Let me turn that all the way down. Okay. So I just wanted to basically agree with some of the callers previously for what they've been saying. I hear it now. Okay, so basically, this is my assumption of everything that's going on. And let me just say that I am a Jackson State alumni, and I do give back to Jackson State every year. But when Deion Sanders, when he flipped Travis Hunter from a Power 5 to an HBCU, that's when the Power 5 started taking notice of Jackson State. Mm-hmm. So they weren't happy with that because they said that this black man got too much power. So they got together and said, okay, we got to find a Power 5 that's going to get Deion away from the HBCU. So the bigger picture is they don't want to see a black school with a black famous head coach be great. They don't want to see that. They want all of that attention for them. And that's exactly what happened because Colorado don't even have the money to pay Deion. How are you going to get a coach to come to your school and you don't have the funds? But they're not worried about that because they feel like they can get it. So I think the whole thing was a conspiracy to get Deion Sanders away from Jackson State University because Jackson State was on his way to.
Let me stop you real quick.
I'm sorry, what?
So I don't think it was a conspiracy or anything like that. What I think was you're right, when Travis Hunter went to Jackson State, that made all of them take notice of what Jackson State was doing.
Exactly.
And I think a desperate PWI Power 5 school was going to be desperate enough to give him a shot and see, hey, he went in there and raised their profile up. Imagine what he can do with our resources. So I don't think all of them huddled up together and was like, hey, we got to get Deion away from those black schools. No, I think it was just one school was desperate enough to say, hey, he's getting all this black school, all this attention. He went and flipped Travis Hunter from Florida State. If we can get him over here, he can bring Travis with him. He can bring his son with him, and he can increase the profile of our school because they were desperate. They hadn't won in 20 years. So, and they was one.
And then look at the fact. Here's another fact. Deion Sanders brought $30 million to the city of Jackson. So they saying, hey, we're going to get him to bring money to Colorado. Yep. You know, so basically they don't really have to have the $5 million to pay him because Deion he's going to elevate revenue anyway, and he's going to pay himself.
Yeah. He's actually underpaid if you ask me. $5 million.
He's actually underpaid because $5 million is not nothing because the coach that was fired before Deion Sanders was being paid $9 million, and he had a 1-11 record. Mm-hmm. So for Deion to go in and get $5 million, they already doing the okie doke on him.
Yeah.
Well, to your point about the conspiracy, I think all you have to do is go back to the diatribe that Coach Nick Saban said about Jackson State and about Deion Sanders. There was some colluding going on. When he said that Jackson State gave Travis Hunter $1 million, that goes to your point about the conspiracy.
Right. So bottom line is none of the Power 5s were happy that a black HBCU school in the South was getting all of this attention. Game Day, 60 Minutes, Good Morning America.
I agree with you.
They didn't like that. They didn't like that. They don't want us to rise up. They don't want us to be great. So they did what they needed to do to get Deion to come over to a Power 5, and he did.
Right. It basically, what they saw was a slave insurrection.
Exactly. So, and then the second point that I want to make, and then I'm going to let somebody else talk, but the second point I wanted to make was Deion was wrong on several levels of how he left Jackson State University the night of the 12-0 SWAC championship game. That was wrong because nobody's even talking about that. They're not even talking about the SWAC championship game. They're not talking about that. They're talking about Deion going to Colorado.
Yeah.
And then nobody's even talking about the Celebration Bowl. So, you know, he took the shine. He took the glory from Jackson State, and I just think that was wrong.
All right. Well, thank you for the call.
All righty. Thank you.
All right. Let's get to the next caller. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Oh, what's going on, man? You got Mr. Ford on there, my brother?
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going now? Hey, how you doing?
How y'all doing, man? I'm not from y'all neck of the woods. I'm from Michigan, man. But Swag Buzz and Mr. Ford.
Are you fled Detroit?
No, I'm Detroit. I'm good Detroit. Hey, I love y'all guys, man. I used to talk to Lynn Barney all the time. He was always talking about Jackson State. So like I said, man, I just want to let y'all know, man, regardless if Deion ain't in the SWAC, I'm still watching this SWAC because y'all showed me that football, man, I'm coming to Jackson to a game. So next year I'll be down there regardless. I don't care who the coach is. I believe that the boys are still going to play great. And like I said, I wish he wouldn't have took the shine off like the previous caller said, because guess what? 12-0 means something.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And if they 13-0, it's truly going to mean something. So again, guys, thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Ford,
let me ask you this. Are you Cooley? Are you from Cass Tech? You from Northwestern? What's your high school?
No, I'm from a small Catholic school from back in the day called St. Martin de Porres. I used to play basketball. We had a couple guys go to Kentucky State. You ever remember a guy named Greg Carter? He played baseball at Kentucky State. He coached us back in the day.
Okay. I know about Kentucky State now. That's Frankfort, Kentucky, right?
Yeah, Frankfort. My football
Kentucky,
coach was a baseball. Yeah, he was a baseball player at Kentucky State.
I'm gonna get another call in here, y'all. I'm gonna get another call in here. But appreciate the call.
Have a good one.
All right, thank you.
All right now.
Hold on just a second. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Doing great. How you doing?
This brother D'Angelo. I'm calling, man, to say, what do you think if Coach Prime had another year with the 4 and 5 stars that he was going to bring to Jackson State? Wouldn't it knock the SWAC out the box? It was like he was just going to have the advantage, man. He already went undefeated. He got 2 back-to-back SWAC. What else did we want him to do?
Well, I think a lot of people was thinking that he's probably going to go undefeated again, and they probably going to move Jackson State out of the SWAC. Or I think a lot of people was hoping that he would become an independent or something like that. Something would happen, or something would happen to change Jackson State and set them up for a long, bright future. Instead of just him just leaving.
Right.
Go ahead.
But when you move up, the funds got to be there, right?
Yeah.
You got to pay. You got to have raises. So you think they was going to make the funds to get everybody promotion?
I mean,
Let's be realistic.
I mean, to be realistic, we don't know what Jackson State can achieve as far as money goes. We don't know because honestly, I don't think Jackson State has ever tried to just really increase their budget like that because they probably never felt like they had to until Coach Prime came and let them know, hey, we not on that level yet. Y'all need to step it up, because before those other coaches probably wasn't telling them to step it up like that. Or even, because Coach Prime he's been to the NFL. He's been to a Power 5 school. He's seen what it's supposed to look like. And so when he got to Jackson State, he probably was like, okay, this needs to look like this. This needs to look like this. We need money to increase this. They haven't had someone like that before, so they probably were never thinking like that. But I think because they're thinking like that now, things are still going to change at Jackson State, even when they get a new coach in, because now they know what they need to do.
Right. He superseded his expectations, man. Let's be realistic. He superseded his expectations, and it's time for him to move on. He left the blueprint. Somebody come and follow the blueprint, and let's carry Jackson State on. All right, peace and love, bro.
All right, thank you for the call.
All right, have a good
one. All right, let me get this call. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, SWAC Buzz? This is Monty calling from Detroit.
What's going on, Monty?
You remember? Well, you probably don't remember. You get a lot of calls, but we talked a couple weeks ago, about a week ago, when you were talking about it, if Deion was going to leave or not. And one of the things I kept mentioning was one of his reasons of wanting to move to the next level has been to, as far as pay his staff. And my question is why didn't the university do some type of raise after 2 seasons? The first season, I mean, you know, JSU went undefeated in the SWAC and won a championship. And now we all knew the way this season was going. We already knew this year, once we got past the first couple games, that it was evident that Jackson State was going to be going undefeated again. Even playing Southern the second time around, I watched every last Jackson game and some of the other HBCUs, and there was no way anybody was going to beat them. And so when you have a program running good like that, you go ahead and on the business side, you start making those extensions. You got a year left on the deal, you make an extension, you offer those raises, because the profiles were not only elevated at Jackson State and other HBCUs, but when those other students come in, that is additional money for the university. So I don't understand when we keep saying, well, we're not getting the money as these other universities. And I went to an HBCU, but when you get that enrollment up, you are getting more students, but having more money doesn't fix the problems when you're not handling business properly. And it was increased revenues. When you look at Colorado and what they've done in just that week time, they put together a football discretionary fund. You can go on their website and see. They already got pictures of Coach Prime up there. Make a prime investment from $100 to $10,000. You know, we as Black folks, we talk about, well, I've been supporting. No, did you actually send a check to Jackson State University Memo football program? No, you didn't. You just made a video and been talking. Not many people have actually been putting their money where their mouth is.
Hold on,
and that's the problem.
Hold on now. Jackson State, they do have, when they do the day of giving, when you, because I've done this, when you donate money, you can specify where you want it to go. So you can hit the little drop down menu and you can pick a sport, or you can put general fund. You can pick football. So when I've donated all throughout this year, I put football. I'll put football, or sometimes I donate to the general fund when I'm just donate to the school regularly. But when I donate to the football program, I would hit football and send the money like that. So they have a way to do it. But you know, I felt like the way Colorado has been advertising theirs has been like an eye opener, because you know they did it immediately as soon as he signed. Hey, donate the money, and they blasted it out there like that.
Right, and but that's so. So here's the thing. I mean, I'm an HBCU graduate. As much as we think, you know, at the HBCU level, and I was in the band. I'm a band head.
Mm-hmm.
We love the band more than the football team. Let's just be honest, because of the support. Just like you said, how Colorado is blasting. I'm here in Detroit. I'm about 10 minutes from the University of Michigan, and we know Michigan football, Harbaugh, they run in the state. Just for example, the brother who used to be a coach at Colorado, Mel Tucker, who's now at Michigan State, that brother got 10 years, $95 million when Michigan State gave him that contract extension and renewal last year. They put that out there. So the schools are not going into their general fund. They're going to hit the boosters and push it like that. And all I'm saying is that as much as some of us may be real football fans, these are how the schools actually do it. They're going to make sure that football team is getting the money, because majority of the football programs at the top schools really carry the whole athletic budget. University of Michigan athletic budget for the football program is damn near $200 million. On how much they bringing in at the big house. And I'm not even a U of M fan. I live right up the street from there, but that's just how it is.
But I got a lot of other callers, so let me get another call on. I appreciate you calling. All right.
Yep.
Let me get to the next call. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Hey man, let me cut this speakerphone off. I'll try to listen to you. Okay. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. How you doing, brother Ford?
I'm doing
anyway,
good. I'm doing good. Mr. Ford is still here.
Yeah.
Yes.
How you doing?
All right. This is what I want to say. I'm gonna try to wrap it up. Yeah, I feel a certain way. This is the way I feel. You don't come here saying that God told you to do a certain thing. I applaud that sister that called. You don't come here saying God told you to do a certain thing, and we can prove it. We can do it at our black schools. What we wanted, people, is what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to make Jackson State, just like, he didn't say it in these words, but this is what we thinking. You're going to make Jackson State HBCU, just like Alabama, a machine to push out NFL athletes. This is what you said.
Mm-hmm.
This is what he said. Now, Muhammad Ali didn't back down. He lost 3 years of his life, of his boxing career. Talking about, do we want them to do everything? Bill Russell didn't back down. Jim Brown didn't back down. Sidney Poitier didn't back down. So you have people in the civil rights movement. The reason that people don't understand is because they're not going to understand the movement. They're not going to understand the movement. This is why I want to say on this, and then I'm going to tell you something about the state. Black men and women, stop being a sellout. Stop being whores to the world. That's what we've been doing all our lives, being whores to the world. Now, you wonder why your black woman go out and get the other race, because you don't have no dignity, no integrity, and no morals. A man's word is bond. It's all he has. It's all he come in the world with. You go back on your word, and you go and you make excuses for these people that got money that you would never see. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Now I'm gonna say something that a lot of people don't want to say. Probably Mr. Ford don't want to say, but I know a lot. I don't want him to do good. I hope he do bad because he turned his back on us.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna tell you something.
Well, I don't hope he doesn't do good.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna get off. Now, some people are scared. Some people are scared. Dion, if you were scared, say you scared. But I really believe it was conspiracy. Our councilman Kenneth Stokes said it was 90 million, not 30 million. Every game was a $90 million impact here in the city of Jackson. It's not like Montgomery. It probably was 6 million in Montgomery, but we got hotels and suites and restaurants here in Jackson. We got stuff. This is a city. This is capital city. It was 90 million. It was up more close to 90 million. When they brought that boy over here, there was a big impact. That was a movement. It was gonna reflect on the whole HBCU community. And then you imagine getting at North Carolina A&T, North Carolina Central, Tennessee State. You get the top 10 schools in the SWAC and make your own BCS. Yeah, bro. The other bro we're talking about, we got the money. No, we don't have the money like those big guys. Jackson State don't have like 9,000 students. People like Alabama, they got like 50,000 enrolled. Do the math. Stop playing. Stop playing. I'm gonna listen to the rest of your call.
All right, thank you for the call. All right, let me get to the next one. I'm letting y'all go, man. I'm letting y'all go. All right. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Well, I just have a couple of things to say. First, to my understanding, people were saying that Deion only came to JSU to help his son get to the NFL. And now the narrative is he's only going to Colorado to help his son get to the NFL. But I'm just wondering, how is that so honorable, or what is so great about him hand walking his son to the NFL in comparison to all the young men that are making it to the NFL every year without a well-known GOAT from the NFL as a father or any kind of connection? They're just making it there by their hard work and talent or whatever. So what is so honorable about this man hand walking his son into the NFL? I just don't understand how people are just so celebrating that and making like this is something so wonderful that he's doing. So either he's saying his son is not capable of making it on his own, or what is this?
Make sure I hit that like button.
Him
Go.
walking his son into the NFL.
Now, I think I see what you're saying. I think if Shedeur loses or Coach Prime doesn't perform well or his team doesn't win like that, they're gonna start blasting him for that. They're gonna start that media. I'm telling you, the media is good when you're rolling, but when you're not rolling, they will turn on him and you'll see his face plastered everywhere, and they'll be calling it daddy ball and all this other kind of stuff. The media is very good at that. So if he doesn't win, you're gonna see a lot of those stories come out. But as long as he's winning, then Shedeur is fine. But if Shedeur doesn't win and he keeps, because he's not gonna replace Shedeur. If Shedeur loses 5-6 games, he's not gonna replace him
or anything.
Yeah, so the media will go in on that. So we'll see how that develops during the season. Go ahead.
Because this narrative has gone on since he was in high school. He went to Deion started a school so that he could be the quarterback. Then he took him to another private school so he could be a quarterback and tore that school up and left it in a bad way. And then he moves on to every level. There's some destruction with him hand walking his son into the NFL. So he's saying his son isn't good enough. Another thing I have to say, I really don't like the way they bash the mother. I don't know much about her, but people bashing her. If not for her having those two sons, we wouldn't even be hearing about Deion right now. He's making it off of those sons right now. His time is past, and he's only relevant because of those two sons by the second wife, and they just continue to bash her, and he won't even acknowledge her. So that's their business. But I just don't like how it's just nasty once you bring it all under God. When you start talking about God, there's just a certain expectation of how things are expected to be handled. Now, if you're just out here doing it all on your own, well, nobody expects anything. Do what you want to do. But once you bring it all under God, we're looking for certain things. There's a certain way of handling everything that you're doing. And it's just not adding up. That's all that I wanted to say.
All right. Thank you for the call. Also, let me say this. I think Shedeur is a damn good quarterback, and he's going to do great at the Power 5 level. Now, don't get it twisted now. I still think Shedeur is the dude. I think he's going to do great at the Power 5 level. But what I'm saying is if they don't win, the media will turn on them. So somebody said now it's daddy ball. Like, no, I never thought it was daddy ball. I always thought Shedeur was the best quarterback on Jackson State campus. And I think he's going to be a good quarterback on the Power 5 level. But if you get a 5-star quarterback trying to come to Colorado, what you going to do? If he's better than Shedeur, what you going to do? I don't think Coach Prime is going to even be recruiting guys like that. I think Shedeur is Shedeur's job, and it's going to be his job until he goes into the draft. Let me go to the next call.
Which is next year, probably. Shedeur play probably one more year.
Yeah, he probably going to play
one more year. One more year.
What's going on, Carly? Live, talk to me.
Hello, hi. My name is Sally, and I just wanted to make a comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't understand the foolishness going on when you have Black people that cannot support Black people. Are you guys telling me Deion is the only Black man that can be supportive of black colleges, black football, that there are no black men out there that can do the job, then we as a society have lowered our standard, that we cannot be supportive of him when an opportunity that another black man cannot get, that he can open the way for other black coaches. Are we saying as a society we cannot be supportive of black men? I'm going to give you a prime example.
Hold on. Why do you think that people are not being supportive of another black man? Because of their upset that he just up and left, when you do know the things that he was saying when he came, right? That is why people are upset. They're not upset that he left. I don't think people are upset that he left.
So many things.
Yeah, he did what he was supposed to do.
But I just heard somebody say, "I hope he fails." Like, how can you wish?
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
A black man to fail. No, but I just don't understand. Let me give you an example. When Black Panther died, you have all these idiots saying, "Don't recast, don't recast." And I sat there thinking, you just give Disney a reason not to produce another black movie. It doesn't make sense to me as a society. We have so low standard. Are you telling me that Deion Sanders is the only guy that can elevate black colleges, black football, that there is no other qualified black men out there that can take the next step? Why are we hating on him?
You're not gonna
Instead of us trying to.
You're not gonna find another Deion Sanders. Now you might have some guys out there.
Fine.
You might have some guys out there that can do a good enough job, but he's one of our biggest stars in football. He's like the Michael Jordan of football, pretty much. And so he would have been a catalyst, a real conduit of change. Go ahead.
I look at this though. Michael Jordan, there was a Michael Jordan. There is now a LeBron James, right? Are we telling me there is no other person that can step up to the plate than Deion Sanders? Then as a society, we have lowered our standard because there is somebody else that can do better. In life, you preach to the next generation to say, hey, I want you to do better than my generation. So are we saying there's no other person that can step up and do better than Deion Sanders? Then as a black society, we need to reevaluate our standards then.
I understand what your point is, but what I'm saying is, when it comes to Deion Sanders, there's nobody that came from the NFL ranks that's big as him on social media, that's a salesman like him, that's respected like him, that can get people to donate money, can get stuff done like Deion Sanders. There's nobody like that yet. You know, and I know you understand. You're saying LeBron James and Michael Jordan is totally different, because football players, basketball players, it's easier for them to become superstars because they're showing their face all the time. Football players, only the special ones become superstars on football level, because they're wearing face masks all the time, and you don't really see them like that. You had the Odell Beckhams and stuff like that. You have to be a really special guy to be a superstar in football. So Deion, it's not going to be too many Deions come after him like that. They can do what he's been doing.
We need to challenge ourselves then. As a society, we need to challenge ourselves so we can raise the next Deion. That is what we need to focus on, instead of hating on the man that took 5 coaches to Colorado. We need to challenge ourselves as a society to raise the next Deion. Because if you guys are looking for, when Deion dies, somebody next has to take up the step. So as Black society, we need to raise the next Deion, and not only one. We need multiple Deions at this point.
Yeah, in a perfect world, that would be great. We had multiple Deions. That would be awesome. But like I said, he's a rare specimen. He's a rare guy. You're not going to find too many guys that can talk like him, walk like him, the way he promote things. Like, he has a gift. He really does. And he's a special man. And you're not going to find that just anywhere.
We need to fix ourselves within as a society, because I cannot believe everybody's thinking black football is going to fall apart because Deion left. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Then we need to challenge the next person and say, hey, Deion did this, but you need to go further. it's just the foolishness that I'm hearing. How can you not be supportive of another black man who just got into a school?
Thanks for the call.
It makes
I'm gonna
no
get to the
sense to
next
me.
call. All right, thank you.
All right,
I'm looking at these comments. Y'all are tripping. All right, let me get to the next call. Hold on a second. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. Now, I like to get other people's perspective because I know she wasn't black. She wasn't black, but I like to hear what people outside the black community want to say, you know, and have their perspective on it. Now, I mean, I started to check her, but I wasn't going to do all that. I just wanted her to get out. I was really interested to see what her perspective is. She wants us to create multiple Deion Sanders, but hey, Deion Sanders can't be duplicated. If Deion Sanders could be duplicated, people wouldn't have been trying to go. Them Power Fives wouldn't be trying to clamoring to go after him like that. They clamored to go after him like that because they knew he was special. He's one of one. Go ahead, Colin. What's going on?
What's going on, Buzz? How you doing tonight, man?
Doing good.
So, first of all, I just want to let all the callers in the chat that were saying that think that Deion's going to have a down season next year, it's a pipe dream. They're going to be good next season.
Yeah,
and if they don't win it, they're going to be number 2 or number 3. His recruiting is going to go through the roof, man, and I wish him all the best. I'm a JSU graduate. I wish him all the best. I hope he win every game next year. But it hurt me, though. It put me down for about 2 or 3 days. But I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done. I think it was a learning curve for JSU, man. I feel like we kind of dropped the ball. I feel like after he came back that second season after that COVID year and won the SWAC, I feel like we should have restructured his contract right then to give him some initiative to say, man, this school is really interested in keeping me. They're interested in keeping my son. We should have restructured his contract right then. Now, I don't know if anybody in here heard the Neely interview, but he said nobody from the school ever offered Deion an extension, a bonus, nothing. Like we never showed any initiative to keep him there. So, you know, I feel like it was a learning curve for the school as well as, and then on top of that, another thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna let you go. We don't take it personally enough with black folks, and I know the last caller was saying black folks, you know, but with us, it's always business. Okay, you winning, cool. If you were losing, we want you gone. It's never personal enough for us. It's always business. And I'm gonna give an example, and I'm gonna get off. If you wanted to take Jimbo Fisher right now from Texas A&M, if another school wanted to come in his contract, you got to pay that school $80 million. If you fire Jimbo, you got to pay him $60 million. And I live in Texas now. I'm from Mississippi, graduated from Jackson State. I heard out of the horse's mouth just since I've been here. It's a guy willing. He said before he let Jimbo run that program down, he'll personally pay that dude $80 million to leave that school. So it was a learning program, a learning process for all of us. You know, hopefully Jackson State learn. You know, we get a good coach in, show some initiative, show to keep him, show them that we want him there. You know, but aside from that, I don't wish him nothing but the best of luck. You know, I'm listening to the program. Y'all let me know what y'all think.
All right, thank you for the call.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right. I think most people wish Coach Prime well. I know I want to see him succeed. I want him to see him succeed at Colorado. I do not want him to fail because, you know, if he fail, that's going to look bad for the SWAC. So I want to see him succeed. What's going on, caller? You live. Talk to me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I guess the question that I want to ask is this. Why is it that everybody is always talking about what Deion Sanders did for Jackson State? What about what Jackson State did for Deion Sanders? Before he came to Jackson State, did Deion Sanders have any college coaching experience?
He didn't.
None. So him getting to Colorado is because of Jackson State, because they wouldn't hire him at the Power 5 conference.
Hold on. Let me say this. Let me say this. Okay, so the caller was African. Okay, all right, y'all, we get it. Okay, so she was an African lady. We get it, y'all. All right, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, before he came to Jackson State, he had no college coaching experience, and most coaches have to go through what people normally go through: assistant coach starting out, assistant coach, move up. He came to Jackson State and became a coach with no college coaching experience. So what did Jackson State do for him? Because if he had not been at Jackson State, would he be at Colorado? No, he wouldn't. But the problem is the deception. The bottom line for me, and I'm going to hang up, is that Deion Sanders never wanted to be at Jackson State in the first place. He was never the person for Jackson State. He presented that because nobody else would take him. And now we know what the truth is, because before he came to Jackson State, all he did was apply to Power 5. Did he apply to FCS schools before he got to Jackson State? No, he didn't. It was all Power 5. Yeah, so the first opportunity that he gets, he goes to a Power 5. So why are people shocked? Because he never wanted to be at Jackson State in the first place. And I believe this, and I'm going to hang up, that if a person or whatever wants to leave, let him go. He shouldn't even be coaching in the Celebration Bowl. He never wanted to be in Jackson State in the first place because he never wanted to coach on the FCS level. And now when he leaves or whatever, everybody wants to talk about what he did for Jackson State. No, what did Jackson State do for him? That's the bottom line. So,
all right,
I'll let you respond.
All right, thank you for the call. Yeah, I mean, Coach Prime did do a lot for Coach Prime did a lot for Jackson State, and Jackson State did do a lot for Coach Prime. And I think what he was saying in the beginning is what has people thinking like, okay, we thought he was gonna stay for the long term because of the way he was talking in the beginning. But he did interview. He did want to coach at a higher level when he first came in. He did want to coach at Florida State and schools like that. So we probably should have seen him leaving. But I think we got caught up into the words that he was saying. Let me get to the next call. And I'm still a Coach Prime fan. This ain't a Coach Prime hate channel or nothing like that. Y'all know I'm a big supporter of Coach Prime, and I want to see him succeed. I just don't like the way this thing ended. I think it could have ended better. That's all I'm saying. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, man? This is James, calling from California, San Diego, California, Morgan State graduate. I just want to say, listen, man, I think Jackson State acting spoiled. I would have gave my right arm for Deion to give Morgan State 2.5 years this time while he upgraded his level of coaching to play for a Power 5 and bring us to MEAC championships. And then leave us in a better position than where he came in. That's all you can ask from Deion to do. Y'all got better facilities, better equipment. Y'all on the map now. And it was a win-win situation for both parties. That's all I got to say. Peace, love, be safe.
All right, thank you. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing, Chief?
What's going on?
All right. Well, I'm not even gonna lie, man. I'm really like, yo, I support, HBCUs and everything. I see it from both sides. You know what I'm saying? I see it from one side where, where Deion Sanders was the platform. You know what I'm saying? And he used Jackson State as platform to elevate himself. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And I understand that.
And that's fine.
But at the same time, yeah, absolutely. But we gotta understand the type. We already know what type of man, what type of athlete Coach Prime is. You know what I'm saying? No matter what he was going to do, it was inevitable for him to come into college and succeed. No matter what, he's going to be at HBCU or a private college or a Power 5 college. No matter what, he's going to succeed at the college level just because him as being Prime. You know what I'm saying? Where he built with all his fruits, labor and hard work. But hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm listening.
Yeah, but the thing is that really messed me up is, you know what I'm saying? Like JSU, man, like for real, man, like we gotta be professional about things, the business, no matter what. At the end of the day, get out your feelings and emotions because the world is watching. know what I'm saying? I mean, if look at it like this. If everybody else seeing everybody dog and JSU dogging Deion out, what makes any other coach want to come down of his caliber? Let's say a Ray Lewis. You think Ray Lewis ain't watching? You think Cam Newton ain't watching?
Who's dogging him out though? I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I don't think Jackson State fans are dogging him out. They are just saying that there's nothing wrong with critiquing how he left. That doesn't give that. That's not saying that Jackson State. We Jackson State fans love Deion Sanders. They love for what he did for that program, and I don't think most Jackson State fans don't have any ill will towards Deion Sanders. They just didn't like that he came in saying that he was going to change HBCUs, change the landscape of HBCUs, make it to where these kids can go to the NFL from an HBCU and change the whole college landscape, and then leave. If he would have came in just with the attitude that this was the stepping stone job and he just building his resume and getting the experience, I think people would have been fine with that. It was the rhetoric that he was saying that got people tight. Go ahead.
Right, you're right about that. For the rhetoric, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, me, I was pulling for, you know what I'm saying, JSU, to be FBS. I wanted JSU in the FBS. Don't get twisted. That was my dream and my hope for JSU. Because I'm not even gonna lie. I bought the JSU, the Deion hoodie. I bought the JSU jacket. You know what I'm saying? I bought the Black Excellence, what that's about. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of like upset me that you know what I'm saying, that the business part of JSU, you know what I'm saying, is kind of bad. You know what I'm saying? For the president to come out and say, I hope Deion fails of HBCU.
Hold on. That wasn't Jackson State president though. That wasn't Jackson State president. Yeah, that was just a president from another HBCU somewhere. So let's make that clear.
Yeah, and that that hurt. You know what I'm saying? For a black man, technically he didn't have to come to JSU. He didn't. I mean, for everybody saying he did.
Well, he actually did because JSU was the only place to give him a shot. Y'all forget about that. JSU was the only school. There was the only school trying to get him a shot because he was interviewing for other. He wanted to be a head coach. He didn't want to be a coordinator or a recruiter or something like that for a Power 5 school. He wants to be a head coach because Coach Prime, he's Prime. He has that attitude that I'm one of one. I'm the man. He's not going to be somebody's assistant. That's just not how his personality is. That's not how he rolls. So he had to find a school that would give him that opportunity, and Jackson State was that school. So Jackson State did take a risk, giving him an opportunity when he's only coached high school football. No Power 5 would give a high school coach opportunity to be their head coach. Most D1 programs wouldn't do that, period. So Jackson State did take a shot on him.
You know what made him choose Jackson State? And the thing that made him choose Jackson State because of the past NFL Hall of Famers that went to Jackson. You know what I'm saying? The Walter Payton and all like that went to.
Yeah, I could barely hear you, my man. Call back after you get your phone right. I can barely hear you. Let me get on to the next caller. Hold on just a second. Somebody said a risk. Yeah, it was a risk because he could have came there and failed. And then everybody would have been clowning. Everybody would have been clowning Jackson State, saying that y'all took a risk on somebody that didn't have coaching experience. So yeah, it was a risk. What's going on, Carly? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, good evening. How you doing, brother?
Doing great.
Great. All right. A couple of things. I too am an alumnus of JSU.
Mm-hmm.
And in response to the lady that sounded like she had a British accent,
yeah.
We are who we are. We didn't complete or attempt to do a resurrection. We didn't march in Virginia with 20,000 black men, through the streets. We didn't do what Deion Sanders' alma mater did, dig graves, burn his jerseys, spray prank the city of Tallahassee, Florida.
Right.
We too are human. We have a right to that lady that had called in. In addition, there was a sister that had called in. She talked about a thought process, and I too agreed with her. I think you had a different opinion. There's a scripture in the Bible, Lamentation 4:18, and it goes like this. And this is what she and another brother that had brought up Mississippi State and Ole Miss. And it goes like this: they hunt our steps. And so I do understand what he was saying. His opportunity. Did he lie? Yes. He said that he was transparent. He said that he would keep it 100. You would know exactly where he is coming from. Well, now it makes sense when Eddie Robinson Jr. had made that famous statement about being SWAC, because that was October the 8th. However, or moreover, the athletic director last week from Colorado had stated that they had began to talk October the 1st, October the 2nd. So apparently, as an NFL player, the word had gotten back to him. So therefore, he was actually sending a signal and a subliminal message that we couldn't figure out why he actually was saying, I sure hope that he doesn't accept the PWI job and put us on their schedule for the following year. So he knew. So from October the 8th, and when the European American had spoke about that they met October the 1st or the 2nd, they've been in dialogue. And during all that time, he had an opportunity to bring us to the forefront. And lastly, people, as an alumnus, a man that loves his alma mater, let's still in forgiveness. On Judgment Day, he said he's going to look at our good and our bad. Let's forgive this man. It is what it is. It's okay for us to vent. Let's applaud him. Let's cheer for him. Let's not let the world see us throwing darts, snares, attacking him, booing him. Let's show America, who we really, really are. And I will say now, Harriet Tubman would have been upset with Deion Sanders. And I land.
All right. Thank you for the call.
All right. Thank you.
All right, let me get to the next call. I think Jackson State fans are appreciative of what Coach Prime accomplished at Jackson State. He accomplished 2 undefeated seasons. He's probably going to go 13-0, get on the first 13-0 record that they've ever had, and win a Celebration Bowl. That's an awesome achievement, and I think Jackson State fans are appreciative of that. I think like I said, the rhetoric that he had when he first came in created false sense of expectations, and when you left abruptly like that, I think that really just rubbed Jackson State fans the wrong way. And so a lot of them are just venting about their issues with the way he left. It's not that he left, because we never thought Coach Prime would stay at a HBCU forever. That's just craziness. But the way you leave, it's just like you leaving a job in bad standing. You never know if you're gonna need those people again, because the same people that you kick on your way up, you might meet them on your way down. But let me get to the next call. What's going on, Caller? You live? Talk to me.
Yeah. Mine is Mike. And this is the point I want to make. I think Deion Sanders wants to control winning in the future. Let me make sure I say in the future. He wants the next 2 years before Shedeur graduates. He wants to win win the Celebrity Bowl and the Power 5, the national championship. And I don't think people see that. That's why he's pushing for T.C. Taylor. It's going to be a lot of players go to that Power 5 with him, and some that go up there through the portal, they're not going to make it. They're going to come back down. He will have something into them going back down to Jackson State. He wants both. The people don't see the love that he's doing. And the chances are is that he will win the Celebrity Bowl, or TC will win the Celebrity Bowl, have a better chance of winning 2 Celebrity Bowls than Deion win the national championship. So he's taking a risk.
Let me cut you out real quick. I want to answer this question in the chat. Somebody said, Buzz, he did not leave disrespectfully. What are you saying? Come on, y'all. What I'm saying is,
I don't see him.
Hold on. Let me answer this person real quick. What I'm saying is,
I want you to.
Yeah, hold on. Let me answer this question real quick for this person. So what I'm saying is, when I say he left the way he left, meaning these reports coming out, he's not really speaking on these reports or anything like that. he left in the middle of the championship, the way he left, like you going that night to go tour the facility and stuff like that. A lot of the Jackson State fans felt disrespected when he did that. I've never seen a coach do that before.
But he had to do that because of he had to line up his recruiting. Monday was the date. So he had to go there Saturday to get there to set up and talk to the players from Colorado first. But then the portal opened up that Monday. So all of that was tied into his decision to do it like that.
My thing is, you could have did that Sunday though. You could have did the tour. You could have did the tour. You could have did the press conference. You could have did all that Sunday. I think Saturday night should have been just pretty much for Jackson State to celebrate their championship. You could have did that Sunday.
True to that. But timing is the whole key. And the whole thing is the big picture. The big picture is as much about Jackson State as it is Colorado. We needed that. The time was up here for him. Okay, let's look at it like this. If he stays at Jackson State for another 3 years, the most that should do until his son graduates, the most we could do is win a Celebrity Bowl. But what about all the good athletes, the 5-stars, 4-stars that's coming into the program that's stuck just winning the Celebrity Bowl? He wants to go for a national championship. Now the good ones can go up and play for a national championship. The ones are that's 3-stars and 4-stars that don't, maybe academically, they don't make it. They coming down to Jackson State. He'll be the first one to recommend Jackson State. So they come down to Jackson State, you still gonna win all the Celebrity Bowls. He wants to control both of them. And right. We don't see the big picture.
All right. Thanks for the call. All right. It's the Celebration Bowl, not the Celebrity Bowl. But I appreciate the call. If someone said that he had to do it for the portal, I don't know. Mr. Ford, am I tripping? Am I tripping about saying that, he could have waited till the morning to go tour the facility? Am I tripping?
Yeah, that's not all that was. Yeah. No, you're not tripping. That's not all that was disrespectful. That was a statement made concerning crime, as if crime is not in Colorado. Like Colorado was this idyllic, heavenly place, and it's not that. I wish people would do their research on Colorado and their race problems they have up there. There's some other things that have been said I thought was disrespectful to the city of Jackson and to Jackson State. I thought all that stuff implying that Jackson State was stealing money. I thought that was improper, and I thought that was disrespectful. So yeah, it's been some things said. I haven't voiced it, but I didn't like that they would say it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the disrespect shown to the President Hudson, and there's been some other things that have been said.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. We're not saying we don't have any ill will toward Coach Prime. Mr. Ford, I want to see Coach Prime succeed. I want to see him go up there and win because it's going to do a lot for the SWAC.
Let me say this. Let me just say this. Okay, and I've gone on record with saying this. I do not begrudge him winning, but I do not see him being successful in Colorado. I'm sorry.
We'll see. Let's see who the next call is.
Yeah.
What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Yes. I just been watching, and I just had a couple of comments that I wanted to make regarding this Coach Prime leaving JSU. I became a huge fan of JSU. I love football, and I really love the collegiate level and how, so many of our Black players were, flipping and coming to HBCU. And it's just hard. Like you said, man, like I said, I'm a huge fan fanatic, and I've never seen any program where you're watching a championship game and then ESPN2, who's broadcasting it, cuts the program and go to another basketball game, and we don't even get to see the Jackson State players, get who got nominated for best offensive player, which was Shador, best defensive player, which was Aubrey, and then of course Coach getting the prime. It was like, man, how you gonna just spit on us like that? And then, like you said, he just jump on the
the plane, that private jet. He don't even stay back and celebrate with the Jackson State, Tiger Nation fans and really enjoy that moment because he had to get on that private jet and go to the facilities. And it was just very distasteful and poor to me. And I'm a huge Deion Sanders fan. Man, I love Deion Sanders. I'm just like everybody else. I was upset. I was mad because he had us believing that he was going to do this thing where he was going to level the playing field. And he just mid-level or midstream jump ship, said, I'm right, I'm out of here. I got to go get my son. I'm trying to get my son all this attention. So, yeah, we understand it as a father. You want to get Shador to the next level because I'm rooting for Shador to get drafted first round, first pick. But there's a way that you do it. And just how man, it's deeper, like they said. And I believe that Deion Sanders doesn't have the money to pay out his contract with JSU because his extension, his contract, when I've been watching the news and stuff, are just different people who post me, his contract was ending on December 2024. We just December 2022. So he would have had to pay JSU maybe $600,000, not $300,000. And then with Colorado, how they laughing and saying they don't even have the money to pay Deion. And what everybody is missing, if Deion was to say, you know what, I made a bad decision, I'm leaving, I'm going back to Jackson State, he has to pay people $15 million.
Yeah.
Just to get out of that contract. And
that ain't gonna happen. I don't think Coach Prime is.
They not.
Yeah.
They're not gonna let them happen. But what people don't understand, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna get off the phone. What they're doing right now is called multi-level marketing. And all of this back and forth and all this, what they're doing. And then next week, I didn't even know the Cricket Celebration Bowl was a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday event leading up to Saturday. All this marketing they're gonna make. They're gonna get a bag. So when January 2023 roll around, they're going to have a $5 million to give to Coach Prime and say, here's your first year's salary, Mr. Coach Prime, for all this marketing that you helped us grab these bags on these folks that were sleeping. And, we upset, but you know what? And then this is what really makes me mad. They talking about Coach Prime just didn't leave. He taking Shador. For those who understand about a football team, it's one thing when the head coach leaves. But when you take your son who's a starting quarterback, then you start reaching back saying you're going to take Travis Hunter and all these other players, then these coaches, we are left with what? Building totally from the ground up. Yeah. And it's a disadvantage. And I just hope those Jackson State Tiger fans, those other football players that stay there to hang in there, because God is going to show out and show up, because you don't do things like that. It's all about, man, you got the money supposedly. So like they say, I don't really think Coach Prime got all the money that he said, because the way he jumped ship, he could have told them, look, man, I'm interested in the job. Because what is he telling these young black men? Finish what you start. How can you preach that when you couldn't even tell them white people up in Colorado, call me after December the 17th, 2022, which was going to be the day of the Celebration Bowl, but call me after that. He just doing all this moving and shaking and showing them, y'all ain't nothing. Like you said, this was a step up for me and for my son, and deuces, and I'll see y'all out the door. And then if any of y'all got any problems with me, oh well. That's a bold move, but I just hope everybody, especially the black people, we keep our head up and know that we shall get over this hump, and we're going to be greater than what we was with Coach Prime. And y'all have a blessed holiday.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Doing great.
Hey, how you doing?
Mr. Ford, how you doing? Listen,
hey, how's it going now?
I'm real good. This, it's been a great night. I've been holding for an hour and 10 minutes. But
there's a lot of calls coming in.
So I want you to know. But it has been interesting, and I have a guest with me, one of my friends, and he's a professor of psychology at the university here in the land, and we just been listening. And you know what? I just want to say once again, I said this last week, and I'll say it again, Mr. Ford and SWAC. I know you may think you guys are just being sports commentators or facilitators, but you know what? you are really, for the last week, you've been sports psychiatrists and psychologists, okay? You're helping a lot of folks across America get through this dog period. You know what I mean? So it's kind of funny. But, I got to be honest with you. What's been amazing is we've been sitting here for the last couple of hours, an hour or so, is to listen. And I guess we've been stunned about, the range of emotions, how people think they know a lot, don't know nothing, and how everybody's become an expert on everything. You got people who now they're expert on sports law, expert on sports formation, sports administration, a lot of different things. So my thought was this, and I went to HBC. I graduated over 30 years ago. Actually, I went to Norfolk State, worked under the president. You may know him, Mr. Ford, Harrison B. Wilson. He used to be the best.
That's Russell Wilson's granddaddy.
That's correct.
Big John Merritt's first cousin.
That's correct. Went to Kentucky State, spent some time.
I knew the Sweat. I knew Mr. and Mrs. Sweat. One was the basketball coach. The other was the track coach.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went to Norfolk State. I was from Norfolk, but I went to Norfolk State when he was in his 3rd year as president of Norfolk State. He came there.
Right.
But I still wanted to say that, I have a long history of HBCU and everything like that. And the things that we're talking about are the things that were talked about 25 and 30 years ago. I'm talking about HBCU administration, money, stealing, this and that. These, what's old is new. But here's the thing I would say, you know what? And this, we were just talking about this. I would say this. In life, everybody wants a win-win situation. If you get a win-win situation in life, you have achieved great things. You want to win for yourself, your family, your kids, and everything like that. So in this case, we think this was a perfect win-win. Everybody won. Dion won. His children won. The University of Jackson State University won. Everybody win. And like they said, when you break up something that's been beautiful, it's always hard. There is no easy way. What you guys are feeling is the same thing people at Oklahoma felt last year when Lincoln Riley got on that plane and flew to Southern California.
Right.
Okay. It's the same thing that people and Notre Dame felt when Keller flew down to LSU before the season was over.
Let me cut you off. Let me cut you off real quick. I just seen a comment. It said Prime should have never went there. Black folks ungrateful. How are we ungrateful? I don't understand that. Like, how are we ungrateful? Y'all they just make us feel like we less than. He wasn't supposed to go there no way. Y'all should be grateful that he went there. When he didn't have a coaching, he never coached in college, period. He never coached in college, period. Like, how are we ungrateful? I don't understand that.
And here's the thing I would say, seriously, I think the thing that's been bothering me throughout this whole week and everything, really just this God thing. When I say this, people trying to question whether God really spoke to him or this religious component of it. And I just would encourage everybody, to me, if you go back and listen to Coach Prime's speech from his Hall of Fame, which was that was about Mr. Ford, about 11 years ago now?
Yeah.
But I would if you want to get a feel for the man, because I thought the thing that was interesting about that was, it was 11 years ago, so before any of this could possibly happen. And his kids, when you go look at his speech, he got all his kids, they're all 5 of them, they're little bitty things. You probably look at it and say, oh, that was how Shallow looked 11 years ago. And stuff like that, his wife and his mother. If you get that and bring it to today, you can have, to me, a journey in a religious kind of thing, and things change. What happened to you religiously today can be a whole different experience 2 days from now. Okay? And that's not mean you're not sincere or anything like that. Things and circumstances change along the way. But if in the end, everybody wins from it and nobody got hurt, when I say nobody got hurt, I mean emotion get hurt, yeah, but I'm talking about, he didn't go shoot the AD didn't get a bet and beat him up. It's a win-win. I think, and sometimes you just got to move on. You know? And then the last thing I would say,
yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, the last thing I would say is this. You know what I mean? I think it is admirable that he would want to stay. You know what? These big folks that write these contracts, that negotiate on his behalf, Barstool and all those guys, listen, they put that stuff out there because they needed him to move on a timetable that worked for them and not for him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
But you know what? You know what? For me, it's admirable that he said, you know what, listen, when everything's going on, he's been flying back and forth every day this week between Jackson, you know, trying to do 2 jobs and everything like that. So I think, you know, he could have said, yeah, listen, I'm done, I'm out of here and everything like that and gone. Then finally, let me say this one last thing. When the guy said, we ain't got the money, that's a little budgeting, joking kind of a thing. Oh, they got the money, okay? They got the money, okay?
All right. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call. Let me get to the next person. But yeah, that ungrateful stuff, like they just, Mr. Ford, that when they say that, it makes you feel like y'all ain't nothing. Y'all should be glad that he even came there. Yeah,
Well,
that's what it
somebody
feel like
answered
to
it
me.
in your chat. You know, we hero worship celebrities. We've always done that. We make excuses for him. You know that. He's a celebrity. So he has his followers. And they're not going to, you know, that we hero worship of all the people. We hero worship our celebrities. That's just how it is. Ain't nothing we can do about that.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about that.
Let's see who we got on here. Hold on a second. What's going on, Carly? Live, talk to me.
Hey, SWAC Buzz and to Dr. Ford.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, I just want to be very brief because I'm dealing with my grandsons back here with this Dion situation. But in Genesis 1:1, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Right.
And then in 2 Corinthians, it says, the God of this world has blessed.
We lose him?
Yeah, I think we lost him.
Call back, caller.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there you go.
Hello?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I used to go to these Grammy parties, and then the entertainers would get the awards and get on the stage. I want to thank God. But the night before, you know, laid up in them hotel suites and did all kind of things, you got to thank God. So once I got saved, and I was talking to my grandmother, she says, you got to understand, there's a God that created the heavens and earth, and then there's the God of this world.
Right.
So
yeah, I think your phone keep cutting out, caller. Just call us back. Let me get to the next person. What's going on, Carly? Live, talk to me.
Hey, Swag Buzz, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Hey, Mr. Ford.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I was just sitting here and I had to just process this because when I called last week, you know, it took me a couple of days to, you know, just kind of get myself together. Because like we all said, this hurt us. It really did. But I had to really think about it because the first thing I said when I called in last week, I said, what about the boys? I said, where's Shiloh? Is he going? And we talked about him saying he going to graduate and blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is how I process this in my head so that I can move on. The first thing I got to say is I said like last week, we will thank Dion for the good that he did. He did do good. He did wonderful things. He did more than I think he thought he was going to do. But the thing that it is that I believe is when he said, God said it. See, when he said God said it, we have to wonder, okay, well, why are you leaving? How all of a sudden you can go so fast, or you seem like you took it overnight or left overnight, and then you left the boys on the night of the championship. We couldn't even celebrate the championship because I'm like, well, I didn't know. I was looking at his body language. He was standing up there. It was almost like he hurry up, almost like he said it out of his mouth. I got to go. And then we find out he was on a plane. And see, that hurt because we didn't understand. That hit us. We wasn't ready. Nobody, and I mean nobody, if you're worth anything, should want that man to fail. He is not going to fail.
We don't want him to fail.
God said it. Now, I'm going to say that because what God says is so is so. This man is a competitor. He's success driven, and everything he do, he wants to win. Like SWAC Bud says, there's only one Deion. He's special. We didn't get but so many of those. So when we see these, we don't mean no harm to hold on to him or to think, because we believe he's ours. But he didn't sell out. He was drawed out. They made him an offer that he couldn't refuse. And I had to get this in my mind, because this is bigger than what we understand. If you understand what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. If you don't, then you don't.
What I would say is, when people say they made him an offer he couldn't refuse, I honestly feel like I wish he would have stayed a couple more seasons until Travis Hunter and Shedeur went into the NFL. You having that foundation of having those draft picks, people coming from HBCUs, I think by that time he would have had a foundation set, and then he would have been able to get a bag at that point, because he probably got a better job in 2 years. If he would have went undefeated, think about this. If he would have went undefeated 4 years in a row at Jackson State and won 3 Celebration Bowls, you don't think Texas A&M, Texas, Florida State, somebody like that would come calling? At that point, they would come calling.
Yeah.
Oh, I know
So
they would.
He could
You're
wait.
right.
He could have waited.
But now let me say this too. That was a thing on ESPN when Nick Saban said something about Jackson State, Deion, and Travis Hunter, and he was code switching. And basically what he was saying was, these people are a problem and something has to be done about them. But a lot of us don't understand code switching, and we don't understand when they talking like that. And I'm going to be honest with you, I thought that he would get I thought he would get Shedeur out and then he would move on. But I'm telling you, when I heard Nick Saban say that, like that, one of your callers told you that was a conspiracy. That was a conspiracy, and they did not see. First of all, and this is Mr. Ford talking, I believe with all of the media coverage that Deion brought to Mississippi, that's the only reason they that quarterback from the Green Bay Packers. What's his name from Southern Miss? What's that quarterback's name from Southern Miss? That he stole welfare money. He and Phil.
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre. Listen, because of all of this media coverage on Mississippi and Jackson State, that's one of the reasons they called Brett Favre for what he had done. If Deion had been down there, they probably wouldn't have called Brett Favre, because those people who exposed that, they were not Mississippians. Those were people who were down in the state covering that Jackson and the water crisis and all of that. So I believe that there was a conspiracy to get him out of Jackson, get him out of Jackson State, and to get him out of HBCUs. I do believe that.
Yeah. See,
right.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. This thing is bigger than that, because this man got so much power. I mean, power with the young kids.
Calling 904 area code. I'm going to get to you next.
He has an anointing on him, and he would have pulled everybody from everywhere, from every east, west, north, and south. That's why he ain't gonna fail unless God says. He's about to blow up down there in Colorado, and they ain't gonna know what to do with him. They had to get him away from Nick Saban's backyard. That's what they had to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
because that Power 12 was falling apart, so they put him there to save it. And he bringing some brothers with him. I was glad to see him bring them coaches and people with him, and so they can get paid. But if he could have stayed, he would have stayed. And still go back to what I said. I didn't like how he left it. If them white folks were gonna get him, they could have waited till Monday, after the Super Bowl and after everything.
All right.
The championship. But that's it. That's it. I'm through now. I didn't got it out my.
All right. Thank you for the call. Give me just a second. Hold on, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Smash up the likes. Smash up the likes. Make sure y'all hit that like button. All right. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Hey, man, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I'm just here. The young lady that just spoke, she was dead on, and the man that I think his name is Mr. Ford, he chimed in. That was great. I mean, that hit the nail right on the head. That Brett Favre situation in Mississippi, Deion getting all this publicity, like they say, it's a smoke screen. And it's a lot of things. I mean, Deion is the smoke screen. That's why no publicity being put on Brett Favre. He stole all this money, but nobody is saying about Brett Favre stealing all this money from the people of Mississippi. And he was doing it for his daughter. So the things that people do for their children, I mean, it's astronomical. I mean, people would do anything for their children. Deion being in the situation that he's in and the place that he's in, I feel as though that, Caucasian folk, white folks been doing this for years. They look out for their children. Look at the NFL. You have Shanahan, you have all these coaches that their fathers have paved the way for them, and they jump right in the head coach's position. He's doing the same thing for his son, the same thing that we preach that we would do for our children and say, okay, I'm going to do this for my son, so I'm going to look out for my son. I mean, what's wrong with that? He's taking his son to try to go to higher heights, get him some showcase him at a higher level to get him in the NFL. Whether he's
definitely he's taking care of his kids. He's taking care of his kids. Like even with Deion Sanders Jr., you see he got him that platform that he got on YouTube. Like he's making he's setting his kids up for success. So you can't hate that.
And
you can't hate him on that.
Yeah, and I don't see nothing wrong with none of that. There's a lot of things that go on in the world. I mean, it goes on in the high school level and black high schools and public schools. The same thing goes on. The bleachers be full, money is going around, whatever the case may be. And it just seems as if, on this level, it's just that I think that Deion Sanders just used himself to bring a spotlight to a bigger, situation. And good or bad, it's being talked about.
Yeah.
And I like that. So long as we're getting, the publicity and we're talking about, HBCUs, it's not in a bad way. I mean, it's a good thing. I really do feel that a lot of people have their hearts in the wrong place. It was up to them. It's personal to them or whatever the case may be. But all in all, hey, the guy, I wish him well. I've been a Deion Sanders fan since Florida State, and he's been a marketer all his life. He created primetime, so follow how he promotes himself, and he has the confidence, the bravado to do what he believes in himself. And that's what he's selling. He sells himself because he believes in himself. No matter where he go, whatever the situation may be. I don't think it was about a bag. He was making money being an analyst on TV. You know how much money he was making just on TV, the commercials, advertising. I mean, he makes money. So I don't think it was about money.
Well, I think what it was about is about getting his son to a level to where he can win the Heisman, where he can go into the draft and things like that. I think when he was trying to get his son Heisman looks this season, and he seen his son numbers and they was kind of ignoring it, I think that kind of light bulb kind of went off in his head. Like, I may not be able to get this might not be the big enough stage for my son. So let me try to get him to a bigger stage.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And every caller had a point to a certain extent, and I agree to a certain extent with all your callers. They all had some substance in what they were saying. How it was said, that could be a toss up, but I do believe that it's some conspiracy in this thing too, and that's not to be forgotten.
Right. Well, thank you for the call.
All right, man.
Get this next caller. This might be the last one. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, this way. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Yeah. Let me first of all say I know you're a JSU fan, and I'm an ASU fan. And I see a lot of people kind of been throwing shade on Coach Prime. And let's be realistic. He didn't do us a few favors in Alabama State, but at the end of the day, I respect him.
Yeah.
And I hope that the folk at JSU and all over the HBCU nation respect him because what he did, he left a blueprint. Everybody need to follow that blueprint. We don't need to just accept mediocrity. We need to strive for greatness. Now, that being said, I'm catching, some friends of mine from JSU was talking about how they was upset with him for leaving. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think y'all appreciated the man enough.
Explain that for me. How did Jackson State fans appreciate him?
I'm going to explain it to him.
Go ahead.
How many times was his son and his vehicle and his office broken into?
But you can't blame. Hold on. No, you can't blame a whole city and a whole fan base for one idiot.
Let me finish my statement.
Go ahead.
How many times did the administration make a promise that they didn't keep?
Tell me what promises they made they didn't keep.
If he was supposed to get a certain amount of the ticket sales from filling the stadiums, and they never committed to that, and he was spending his own money to doggone make things happen, and you didn't keep the smallest amount of your word, is that a lack of appreciation?
Okay, where are the facts behind? Where are the facts behind that? Because that statement that you're talking about was a hypothetical statement that he said in the interview.
If this stuff is true, and the break-ins and all this other stuff was going on, that just showed the man wasn't appreciated. Now I wish he would have stayed. I really did. Not that I'm trying to rob him of any opportunity. I don't think he left for money. I think he left to go ahead and take a different stage and show his talents and skills if he didn't feel appreciated the way he was. I think the man didn't feel appreciated.
I don't agree with him not being appreciated. I think those people in Jackson showed him.
I think the fans loved him.
More than
the fans
appreciation.
Loved him.
Yeah.
I think your fan base loved him.
I think Jackson State administration loved him. He could do whatever he wanted to do. He ran that school.
He was. Let's be realistic. He was spending his own money to get things done.
He was spending his own money to get the things that he wanted done. That plan, that facility plan they already had, that was already in place. He had some other things that he wanted to get done.
Here's the other thing. If he brought this to their attention and it wouldn't move like he needed it to move, what do you, if outside of what you do here, I don't know what your occupation is, and we ain't got to go into detail, but if you had a business or work for a business and you're the face of that business, and they're saying, SWAC Buzz, hey man, we need to, do this to go ahead and generate some revenue. And you come with this idea and they like the idea. They praise the idea. At the end of the day, they want to implement the idea.
If they ain't got the funds to do it, I can't be mad at them.
Okay, but if that's the truth, man, I get that. But if you got tickets, you got sales being made on these seatings, because let's be realistic, every time you played the vet, darn place sold out. And that ain't including the parking on the tailgate money.
But see, they
were making revenue. And
I understand.
They were making revenue. So you could
and they installed a ticket system, and they installed a ticket system to fix any ticket issues they had. That's why they had the impact tickets. That's why they had the card for the season ticket holders. When they seen problems going on with these third-party sites selling extra tickets and all this other kind of crap, they fixed that. So you can't say the school didn't appreciate him when they tried to fix everything.
I said there was a lack of appreciation, especially in my opinion. The administration profited well, and I want to say that he did well. I mean, he was getting sponsorships and all kind of things. Any school he would have landed at, whether it been an HBCU or PWI, should have been glad to get him. Hell, we could have got him at Auburn. I don't know what the hell Auburn University was thinking. They really didn't take it seriously, because he'd have changed that whole program around, especially with him and Cadillac there. But
they didn't want him.
I know.
They didn't want him.
They didn't want him.
That's a debate for a whole different. I'm pissed off at Auburn myself for that. I mean, really, they didn't entertain the possibilities. Now,
them boosters didn't want to see Dion. They didn't want Dion.
I know they did. I know they did. But the student body did. Now,
but the boosters are the one that's paying the money.
That's true. But once again,
and the people at Georgia Tech didn't want him.
But once again, I hope he makes nothing but success at Colorado. Hell, I hope they win a national championship. Everybody be wanting to ride his tip again. But at the end of the day, man, when you got somebody with that kind of, impact in your system, you do everything you can to go ahead and show them you appreciate them. I think a few rogue people in there caused this man to go ahead and make a decision. I didn't really think he felt, but at the end of the day, he needed to.
Oh, that's fair.
Well, I'm gonna disagree with you. I think it was like that caller, like SWAC's caller said. These people colluded. There was a conspiracy to suck him out of the HBCU world because him being at Jackson State in the eyes of Nick Saban and the other power brokers in the NCAA, that was a slave insurrection. Bringing all of them top athletes, starting with Travis Hunter and his sons and all that, to Jackson State, that was causing them millions and billions of dollars. They had to get him out of Jackson. He had to go.
All right, let's see who we got calling. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Hey, Swag Buzz, this is Mike, man, from Jackson. Listen, man, I enjoy your show. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, man. Listen, man, for everybody that says, man, what Jackson State could be, Jackson State didn't do enough. But truth be told, man, you can't keep nobody that don't want to be killed.
Mm-hmm.
And, right. And also, in regards to Coach Prime, I mean, it's a way you lead. So, to be honest with you, for me, I kind of felt like he sold everybody a dream that he wasn't really willing to dream himself. But that's all I got to say, man. Appreciate your show, man. I enjoy listening.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and there's been stuff put out there that, Ashley or the administrators made a last-ditch effort to get him to stay, and he said there's nothing y'all can do.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it is what it is. Let me go to this person.
Yeah, like they said, I mean, all this stuff was in the works as far back as last summer.
Mm-hmm.
This stuff about Colorado just coming on the scene, that's a lie. They got a story now that Kevin Mathis, who was the defensive back coach, his son wanted to commit to Jackson State, and he was told there's a chance. This was last summer that Coach Prime might be leaving. That was last summer.
Mm.
This ain't just happened overnight.
What's going on, Sweat? I mean, what's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me. I was about to say my own name. I'm tripping. Yeah.
How you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
What you got for
me? What I was trying to say is that they right, man. I do believe that it was some kind of conspiracy to get Deion up out of the South, man, because like Mr. Ford said, Travis Hunter, just that impact alone, after that Alcorn and that Texas Southern game, they seen the way that it's the future, the youth. They seen the way the youth in the future were reacting to Travis Hunter at them games.
Right.
He's a bona fide star. That carries on to 10 to 15 years from now, and them kids seeing them in them uniforms, playing in them uniforms, playing against them uniforms, and the way them kids spoke into Deion and Travis Hunter, and they seeing Prime out there singing, got the crowd singing, who was SWAC and all that. They couldn't, like you said, man, they couldn't have Prime down there, man. They gave him an offer that he couldn't
refuse.
They threw the money up there. They threw the opportunity for his son and told him that his son wasn't going to be drafted high down at that lower level. They put everything in front of Prime and made him make a choice. And that's why they wanted him to leave in bad terms like that. You know what I mean? After the SWAC championship, yeah, he could have waited if he really just stood on his 10 toes, but he couldn't have waited because they didn't allow him to wait. They wanted him to leave that way. They wanted to leave that bad taste in the mouth of the black community. They wanted him to slander him that way. If we're doing what we're doing now, steady making videos slandering Prime or this and that about Prime, then that's gonna put a lump in his throat and automatically put all the shine on them and say, oh yeah, well we can treat you better. And they never. That's why you got people in the comment, oh well, y'all didn't deserve him. Look how y'all acting now and all that. Y'all just give them fuel to their fire, so they can go ahead and make it more excellent for them and stuff. Look, I used to be able to go on my YouTube and type in all I need to type in Jackson State football and it bring up all y'all information, everything about the SWAC, Jackson State football. You type in Jackson State football now, it's bringing a number of Prime in Colorado. Yeah. Jackson State has disappeared.
Yeah.
You got a couple of games that highlights in there, but it disappeared, man.
Yeah, that's the effects of the algorithm. I mean, that's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be like that going forward. Like you're gonna see a lot of Colorado stuff being mentioned, like when you in the search engine and everything. So it's gonna change. But I think once this new coach gets in gets put in and somebody asks me who I think the next coach would be or who I would want for the next coach, I honestly I would want Ray Lewis, because I think him being the figurehead, and this is why I know a lot of people complain like, why would you want Ray Lewis? This is why. Let me tell you, this is why. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, let me tell you.
I mean, hold on. Well, I was going to say, go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
What I'm saying about Ray Lewis, he has 1 million followers on IG. He has 500,000 on Twitter. So you got a well-established Hall of Famer, GOAT at his position, that players, linebackers, 4 or 5-star linebackers, they would want to play for Ray Lewis. They can learn everything they need to learn from Ray Lewis to make it to the NFL. So you got that going for you. He has connections with the NFL, so he'll keep the scouts coming to Jackson State. He has a name. He has a name. So when it comes to algorithm and all that kind of stuff, if he goes to Jackson State, that's going to increase his brand. That's going to increase Jackson State brand. So you would keep that train going. And then he has connections with guys and coaches and other players that he can bring to Jackson State to be on his staff. So that's what I think they should go to if they want to keep this thing going.
It ain't gonna work, SWAC.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why it ain't gonna work, bro.
It might not, but that's
because
just
they
wishful
didn't already
thinking.
prove that they can. Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh,
So you need to turn the
they can
stream
buy
off.
us
You need to turn the stream off in the background because you're gonna be responding to that.
out. They can buy us out. Huh?
I said you need to turn the stream off in the background because you're gonna be responding to that instead of me.
No, I'm talking to you straight to the phone. I ain't even got it up.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, they didn't already prove that they can buy us out doing it with Prime. Because Prime, like we've been saying, he's the one. He won. You know, they know he's 1-1. If they bring a Ray Lewis, who say Ray Lewis, they gonna do the same thing with Ray.
But that's okay.
Them guys' ambition is to compete with.
Let me tell you, that's okay. That's okay that they do it with Ray Lewis because guess what? We gonna embrace that. We embrace that. Okay, if y'all wanna make us like the feeder system for y'all Power 5, what we gonna do is we gonna bring Ray Lewis here, and we know what it is now. So now we ain't gonna be blindsided by a 2-year success, and then you going on. We gonna milk this for everything it got, and we gonna make sure that Jackson State is on the next level next time this coach leaves. You got to embrace that and be ready to milk having Ray Lewis as your coach for everything it's got. That's just my opinion.
But you know another thing, Prime not stupid. Him and his boys and all that. He not dumb. He know what they was trying to do. He knew this was coming. He knew that they didn't want him down there, and that the governor and all them folk didn't want him down there. He knew the plan, what they were trying to do and all that. But I'm gonna tell you what. And I think his counteract to that. Yeah, he knew that the people was going to be mad at us if the black people were going to be mad at him. I think his counteract to that was by hiring bringing all them black coaches with him, Dancy and all them other coaches. Who say he didn't extend a bond to Willie Simmons and Coach Fred? I believe he probably did extend it, but I'm pretty sure they turned it down because they said they
Simmons said he was never offered. Simmons has already gone on the line and said he was never offered anything. I don't know about
okay,
but I know Simmons says he was never offered.
All right.
But
let him finish up his point because I'm gonna get to the next call. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me get off real quick. By him doing that, extending his hand within the SWAC to some of them coaches or whatnot, and I still, and like they said, I still think that Prime, Dancy, and all them, the extra money, that way they can put back into the SWAC. I heard that Colorado basically paying for Prime and them players. They talking about giving money back to Jackson State and helping them with their facilities and all the other type of stuff they need help with. And I'm pretty sure he probably put that in their ear like, hey man, the impact that y'all taking from y'all gonna have to do something for these HBCU or for Jackson and stuff. Y'all gonna have to do something for these people, man, in order to get me up out of here. But I'm gonna let y'all go though, man.
All right,
appreciate the job, man. Appreciate y'all getting on her, man. Let's move on, man, and make the SWAC great and let Deion do what he gonna do, man.
All right, appreciate the call. Yeah, that's wishful thinking. That might be what they want to do in the beginning, but once that money start rolling in, I don't see Colorado helping out no Jackson State. But that's just my opinion. Let me get to the next call. What's going on, call? You live, talk to me.
Hello?
Yep, you live, talk to me.
What's up, Sweat Buzz? This is Malachi. Hey, Mr. Ford. Shout out to Albany State.
Hey, how you
Go
doing?
Rams.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm calling in and stuff. So I actually agree with what you're saying with hiring Ray Lewis, in my opinion, because and this is what I would do. I hire Ray Lewis and I make TC Taylor my offensive coordinator unless Brett Bartolone is still there. I don't know if he is.
No, he's no longer there. Somebody put in that he was named the wide receiver coach. I got to check it tonight.
Yeah.
The wide receiver coach at Colorado.
Uh-huh.
All right. So understandable. So yeah, I'll hire Ray Lewis and make TC Taylor the offense coordinator. The only reason why I say that because Sweat Buzz, you made a real good analogy when you said, do you see TC Taylor going in 4-star and 3-star homes and actually talk to these players and getting these people? To me, I'm just being honest. I don't. I mean, I'll be real. I don't. I can see Ray Lewis doing it, but TC Taylor doing it, no, because
Yeah, I don't.
it comes to
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
no,
TC
yeah,
Taylor is a
'cause
good
it
coach,
comes
but I
to
don't see it happening.
Yeah, and I'm not saying TC Taylor isn't a good coach. He's a great coach. I'm just saying, like, you need somebody that's gonna keep this thing moving. You know, like you just said, we should embrace it, and what we should do is, hire another name coach. Let them keep this thing going, and then when they come calling again, hire another one, and keep it going. If it's gonna be like that.
Okay, but let me get to some of these other calls, Malachi. Thank you for calling.
All right. No problem.
All right.
See you.
Somebody said, "Will he want to live in Mississippi?" Hey, he stayed in Baltimore. I don't know if y'all ever been to Baltimore. Baltimore is just a bigger Jackson. That's all it is. So, hey, he lived in Baltimore. He could definitely come to Jackson.
Yeah.
What's going on, Carly? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, Swag Buzz, real quick, brother. Hey, check this out, man. They caller from Alabama State. Look, bro, y'all got one of the best stadiums in the SWAC.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all have never sold out a damn game until Jackson State came down there. So when you talk about somebody being ungrateful, you need to check your own school by being ungrateful. Montgomery is a capital city also. Check out your attendance at your everyday Saturday game. And number two, before I let you go, brother, y'all really need to check out what Tate Reeves has said about Jackson State in the past, in the present, in the future. That man was the lieutenant governor. Now he's the governor. That man has purposely made sure that Jackson State stayed underfunded. He never wanted Coach Prime to come there. All that crap they're talking about, Prime and Jackson, all this and that. Ask the last time that Tate Reeves went to see Jackson State campus. When was the last time Tate Reeves shook the hands of the football players that won the SWAC championship? Y'all got to understand, economics, this is bigger than money. Nick Saban, what's that other joker down there in Texas A&M? Them dudes did not want to see Deion Sanders. And Mr. Ford, you know I'm telling the truth. These people want their own plantation system. They want those boys to come there to them. Let me give you, not somebody at Jackson State. Look, Jackson State has produced 4 football NFL Hall of Famers. That's more than USM, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss combined.
Right.
People got to understand, W.C. Gordon was the best coach ever smoking at Jackson State. And that man did a lot more with a lot less. So when y'all talk about donations and who ain't giving, who ain't doing this and that, when you underfunded and another school can get Brett Favre to give them $5 million for a volleyball court and Jackson State can get $1 million for a football field, you ask who is really stealing money.
Mm.
And y'all have a good day.
All right, thank you for the call.
Okay.
All right. My guy came in shooting shots. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna take 2 more calls after this one. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Man, what's up, Sweat Bud? This is Doc Holiday, bro. What's going on, Mr. Ford?
Hey, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Shoot, hit
Yeah.
Hey, dude, that last caller was shooting, boy. Hey, my boy was preaching on that one, man.
Yeah.
Like, and people got to, just like you said, you got to realize he was the treasurer of the state of Mississippi. Then he became the lieutenant governor under Phil Bryant, and then he became the governor. So all 3 of those positions, he has been in charge of some sort of funding for every state supported school in the state of Mississippi. So him being governor, like, man, was just basically, it's just like icing on the cake, man. Because now he can do what he try to do whatever he want to do. If he want to underfund Jackson State and Valley and Alcorn.
Let me cut y'all real quick.
Go ahead.
Let me cut y'all real quick. Hey, y'all, let's like the stream. Make sure y'all like the stream. We got over 400 people in here. We only got 200 likes. Let's try to get it. Let's try to get it to at least 300. Make sure y'all like the stream. It's very important. All right, go ahead, Colin.
But he was basically telling the truth. And then when you talk about, us universities being, us HBCUs being underfunded, people not giving back. Like, we give back, you give back. But when you a young student that just graduated from college, you have a lot of student, you have a lot of student debt on your record. And I know sometimes you might not be able to give back that first year or so. But when you get yourself ready, you get yourself prepared, then you go out there and you donate and you give back to your university. And the last thing I'm gonna say it like this, bro. I'm ready for some damn football. It is football week, bro. It's football week. We trying to win a national championship. I don't give a damn what anybody else says. We trying to get a national championship at the Celebration Bowl. But man, I'm gonna land this plane and y'all catch me out later though.
All right, thank you.
Okay, man.
All right now.
All right. Let me get this caller. What's going on, caller? You live?
Hello.
Talk to me.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
how you doing?
Hello, this is Kerry from California. I'm the one that was saying that hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kerry from California. Yeah, I was talking to Mr. Ford. I was the one that called in and said that Deion was the greatest coach in the SWAC. I didn't mean that. What I meant was he's
Hold on. Let me get you to turn the stream off in the background because it's playing back.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still hear the stream.
What I'm saying is, I think that Deion is the greatest coach running the NFL. He'll be in the NFL 2 more years, but he's going to be all right.
Yeah, so you got the stream playing in the background, so you're listening to yourself play back.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it off.
Just cut it off.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it off now. Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, I'm down. Yeah, what I'm saying is this man is the greatest coach in college football right now. He's gonna win regardless because he's got all the talent that's coming his way at Colorado, and he's gonna bring all the black coaches, like I said before, he's going to bring them to him, and they're going to get paid, okay? And you don't have to worry about all this break-ins, and they had a murder on campus. Some kid that was transferring from Baltimore got killed in the parking lot at Jackson. Come on, man.
You
yeah, he was a football player. He met Deion. He was about to come and play, and he got killed. Some dude shot him.
Yeah, I understand that, but stuff like that being put on the school, like these are public universities. Anybody can walk on these campuses and do anything.
Yeah.
And that's at any school. If I wanted to go to University of Maryland, the Maryland Terrapins or whatever, University of Maryland, I can walk on their campus right now. I can walk on. You can walk on Mississippi State. You can walk on any campus and do anything. So When stuff like that happens.
Remember I told you about white supremacy? I told you they had to get him out of there because that man was going to get killed by some of them black hoodlums out there. They were about to murder that man. They already robbed his sons. They were about to kill that man. That man would have been dead. And then we would have said, oh, why we didn't protect Deion? They were about to kill him like they did Dolph in Tennessee. They were going to set him up.
They were going to say, who are you talking about?
Deion, man. They were about to kill that man. They would have killed him. We would have been going crazy. Oh, we should have protected the brother. Oh, this. He had to get out of that.
I got to get y'all in that, man. I got to get y'all. Like, no, man. Stop it. Stop it. Lord Jesus. Like, no. Like, see, this is the type of stuff that gets on my nerves when it's this kind of self-hatred. Like, you just think the worst when it comes to your people. You know, Coach Prime ain't no fool. Jackson State wasn't no fool. They made sure that man was protected and everything was fine with him. And don't think that nothing can't happen for him at Colorado, because you don't know what kind of people are in that city, what kind of people that don't like Deion in that city that can really do something to him. So no, you can't do that, man. All right, let me get this call. Hold on. What's going on, Carter? You live? Talk to me.
Man, how you doing? Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Listen, I want to say, first of all, man, this type of conversation, man, can get very exhausting because so many people are choosing to believe what they want to believe. You know what I mean?
Right.
The guy that called from Alabama State, he goes straight to the money that wasn't spent or the money that was being stolen. And I think you asked a good question, Buzz. How do you really know that? And it's because so much stuff is being put out there that we're just actually just spitting all these bad facts or non-facts, if you will, because the school hadn't said anything. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing I know Prime is good at is he's gonna call out stuff that's going wrong. He called out when he thought his stuff had got stolen. Mm-hmm. Do you think if they were stealing money, do you think if the school wasn't paying him right, he wouldn't have called that out early?
Right.
So I think sometimes the narrative is being chosen, and our people, so sadly, man, it really grieves me that we are choosing to automatically believe the negative instead of staying neutral until everything comes out. Now, the problem here, when we talk about Jackson, is, man, Jackson, Mississippi has been branded with so much discouragement for so long. And I'm sure a lot of people on this call have cities that they come from that it is the same, man. Your city has been branded with discouragement from politicians to, whatever. Like, there's been so much bad news after bad news after bad news after bad news. So when Coach Prime comes to a place like Jackson, Mississippi, it's like a man giving an ugly girl value or a woman giving an ugly man value. And I'm sorry if that sounds disrespectful, but I'm just trying to prove a point. And it's making that person look at themselves and see themselves more valuable than they did see themselves. This is what Prime did to Jackson State. This is what Prime did to HBCUs, because we know the history with the NCAA and these Power Fives. We don't have to go into that. But when he came in with his goals and his initiatives, they were very, very lofty. It was something that we were looking for as Jackson State as well as HBCUs. We needed that kind of person to turn that tide, man. You know what I'm saying? And so when he came in speaking those lofty goals, that was a long haul. That was for the long haul. You know what I mean? Now, Jackson State, let's be clear. Jackson State believed that Coach Prime was going to leave next year. We didn't think he was going to stay there past your door, honestly. Yeah. But the way in which it did, now imagine this. You're in a relationship with a person, and then that week you're hearing all this chatter about this person leaving, and this person is pretty much denying it. But the subliminals are there, because Shannon Sharp is saying it. After that situation with Coach Eddie Robinson Jr., like the one caller said, hey, man, I hope he don't take a Power 5. He was sending a subliminal to and then Shannon Sharp says on the show that, hey, man, well, he ain't going to see him next year. He said, Shannon Sharp, they talk to Coach Prime every week.
Yep.
See, that was a subliminal for the people, but we weren't seeing it because we were still tied to what he was actually saying. He had a little show with Rob J where, man, he still denied it. What am I going there for? He also said, hey, he's ecstatically happy at Jackson State. You know what I'm saying? There's more work to be done. Like that, to me, that's talking out of both sides of your neck. But here's the deal. We're cool with that. We're just saying, look, man, It's Jacktown. If you came and said, look, I'm here, you know what I'm saying, while I'm here, I'm going to make sure that we return this school back to a winning program, and we're going to make sure that we leave it better than we left it. Man, Jacktown would have been cool with that. You like, you didn't have a lot of Jacktown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we've been branded with so much discouragement. The fact that you would even consider coming to this school was enough for us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that because we were sucked into what he said, which a lot of HBCUs also came on to our defense because they were saying the same thing. And here's the deal. You can leave the way you want to leave, but then we can't react the way we want to react. Now, I don't believe in being disrespectful. Don't get me wrong. I do believe in being grateful, but you can't tell a person, don't say you're wrong, Coach Prime, the way in which you left, how you were acting during the SWAC championship. But then he can leave and almost stun it, so to speak. With us, like that don't do us well. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to tell your listeners, man, listen, don't keep repeating this stuff that you keep saying about what the school didn't do, because you really don't know that. And that doesn't do the school well. And here's the deal. If you're really for HBCUs, I've heard everybody say how they wanted Coach Prime to do well in his next endeavor. But I have yet to hear somebody say how they wanted Jackson State to continue to do well. I have yet to hear somebody say how they want HBCUs to continue to do well. And I'm going to leave it with that.
All right. Thank you for the call. All right. Yeah, that's family right there, man. He's always giving up good game. When I talk to him personally, he's very bright brother. So I wanted to just let him go. There's family there. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. I'm gonna take another call
man,
after this, and then we're gonna shut the show down. Go ahead.
Do what? Now, to be honest, man, first of all, I like what you're doing. But to be honest, I've been following since Dion got there. And, I mean, he's did a great job. But people, they're waiting till now to hear what he said. But Dion has been saying the same thing since he's been there. And, you know, my nephew plays ball for Jackson State, and I didn't want him to go there. You know, I mean, he had the opportunity to go to another school, but the problem I have with HBCUs is, and this is just a known fact, that no matter what HBCU, people get in that office and they always mismanage the money. It's period. They mismanage. But now nobody talks about, okay, if you want to discredit what Dion is saying about the ticket sales, about paying his coaches, why don't nobody said anything about why don't somebody just get them to audit it? You know, go ahead and audit the money and audit and I can't take anything wrong from the AD. Did a phenomenal job. Mm-hmm. But the question is, why does money, when it comes to HBCUs, why does money has to be the downfall of everything that we're trying to do? And that's what it all boils down to. It wasn't about Dion getting paid, it was about the mismanagement of money and the contract obligations. How are you going to have 60,000 people, but then it showed there's only 27? Well, come on, man. And this is the problem that all HBCUs have, all of them. So I would not tell anybody to go to HBCUs and play athletic ball for anything like that, because you bring the money, but then it's always instrument. So no, I don't feel sorry for them.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all, because it's kind of like you're painting one instance that happened at one HBCU, and you're saying don't go to HBCUs, period, because of something that happened at another HBCU. You can't do that. We don't do that with white.
It happened at Texas Southern.
Hold on.
Go ahead, brother.
It happened at Texas Southern. Who cares? Like, I'm not saying who cares, but I'm saying it happened at one too. If something happened at Auburn, are we gonna say don't go to Alabama because something happened at Auburn? We don't do that with white institutions. We do that with black schools.
Because you don't hear about it. You don't hear about
it.
What
you mean you don't hear about it? You hear about stuff going on at PWIs all the time. You hear about women getting abused and everything else. And kids.
I'm talking about accounting of money. I'm not talking about, everything goes on at every school. I'm talking about being accountable for the money. That's what I'm talking about. But you're right. Everything goes on at everything. but being accountable to money. There was a principal at Jackson State. Now, to your credit, there was a president over at Texas Southern was using money to go shopping and do her personal loan. I'm talking about when it comes to money. Why is it that black people do not be accountable for money but put their hand in the cookie jar?
White people
I'm talking about money.
White people do the same thing. I guarantee you. Google money mismanagement, Alabama. Google money mismanagement, something else. You're gonna find a story that come from those PWIs. It's not broadcasted like it is at HBCU. That's all it is. That's all I'm saying.
But why is
you heard about Brett Favre? You hadn't heard about the situation.
Why is that?
So yeah, that's another example. So what about with Southern
You
Miss?
ain't heard nothing about Brett Favre and what he and Phil Bryant did?
That's Southern Miss.
I heard about all of that, but I'm talking about mismanagement with blacks who asked the president, where's the money from, and the athletic director, where is the money? That's all I'm saying. Brett Favre, when he stole money, he got exposed for it. Yeah, he got exposed for it. Take nothing away from him. Where is the money?
The administration has already said that they paid Coach Prime every dollar that he was owed or that he needs to have. So there's no money being stolen. So y'all running with that Facebook post somebody made, making rumors and putting it as a Facebook post, and y'all running with that, and that's not fair to Jackson State and their community and their fans, because that's just perpetuating stereotypes that they already say about black institutions, that we gonna steal, that we got crime, people gonna get killed, you're gonna get robbed, you're gonna get all this stuff like that at a HBCU, and that's not fair to blanket all HBCUs because of something that happened at one HBCU. You know, and that's why when you hear these things, that's why people automatically think they true. Just like you came on here, you automatically think those rumors are true because it's talking about an HBCU. But you would
said it in an interview. Deion said it in an interview.
He was speaking hypothetically.
Deion said it himself in an interview.
He was speaking hypothetically. Let me explain to you what he was saying. He was giving an example.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
He was giving an example saying, for example, if we got 60,000 people in the stands and only 27,000 tickets sold, well, we need to talk about that because somebody's stealing and that's coming out of my pocket. He was giving an example. He wasn't saying that happened as fact though. And the school came out and said, what do you mean?
He sold out. He sold out when he came to Texas Southern with the family. He sold out. What are you talking about?
You're not listening. The school came out and said that statement was hypothetical. And if you go look at the interview, the Earn Your Leisure interview, he was just giving an example. He wasn't saying that as fact. And people ran with that. They posted that little clip and made it seem like he was saying that as fact. And no, it wasn't.
Okay, so you're telling me he was wrong when he said he had to pay for meals and he didn't get reimbursed? When he went and he redid the whole locker room and he didn't get reimbursed. These are words that came out of his mouth. And you're saying that he was saying that those are hypothetical things too?
That's never happened though. What are you talking about? He said that he paid for the whole locker room. He's never said that.
No, he said he paid for meals to redo the locker room. This is what he said. Came out of his mouth. This was back in October.
I want you to send me an email and show me where you seen that, because I've been immersed into this in following this program and watching everything that they put out, so I know what I'm talking about. When he paid that money for that facility to be done, he wanted everything to be expedited because they wanted to be in, because it was 2 weeks until the start of training camp. He wanted to be in that building.
Did he get his money back?
And they need to put the TVs and everything up so the kids can play the games and stuff like that. And he paid the money to get that done.
Did he get his money back?
Of course he did. You think Deion Sanders didn't get his money back? You think that he would be quiet?
Yes, I believe that.
You think that he would be quiet about it if he didn't get his money back? Deion Sanders would have been called Jackson State administration out if he didn't get his money back. Come on now.
He called him out for everything else. Well, listen, man, we could agree to disagree, but let me just say what you're doing.
You got to stop listening to rumors, man. You got to stop listening to rumors.
We could agree to disagree, but let me tell you what you're doing is a phenomenal thing, man. I don't hear this on a lot of HBCUs standing up, so what you're doing a phenomenal thing. And I wish more people would have what you have going on to speak to the issues and to stand up for their college HBCUs. So we could disagree to disagree, but what you're doing is a beautiful thing, man, and don't get discouraged and stop doing it.
All right,
You
thank
feel
you.
me?
All right, thank you for the call.
All right.
Yeah, man, let me tell y'all something. I ain't finna come on here and lie to y'all. I follow this stuff. And I'm not gonna ever speak on something that I don't know nothing about. If I don't know anything about it, I'm gonna tell y'all, hey, I don't really know about it. Because I know I have a responsibility as being media to make sure I get stuff right. And I know that he didn't pay for that whole locker room to be done. That project was already in the works before Dion got there. Now he may have made some suggestions and some changes when stuff was getting done, but that wasn't all on him. And I don't think a school would even put that all on the coach. That wouldn't make sense. How you gonna pay me a salary and I'm having to give my whole salary back to pay to get the locker room done? That wouldn't have made sense. But let me get this last call. 1 second. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. Steve Campbell said, I got the patience of a
take my
saint.
call, man.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I have patience with people, man, but y'all got to stop listening to those rumors. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey man, I just wanted to call in real quick. Appreciate the call first off. Appreciate you taking my call or whatever. I just wish people were really like, you can kind of tell like the people just who really been following HBCUs for 2 years and people really down with them.
Mm-hmm.
I just really wish, people would just, if you ain't really just been following since Dion started, like, I can't say not to call in, but I really wish you wouldn't call in because you really don't understand what we talking about. We're talking about money and stuff that, I feel like you're just looking at the surface, you know what I'm saying, versus really understanding what HBCU goes through and, this whole thing of, why it means so much to people who really follow black college football. It means a lot, and I feel like some people just been following 2 years and they really don't understand and just take it and run with it like it's a grain of salt. And I just wish people quit doing that because, whether you're a Bama State fan, Tennessee State fan, Jackson State, Grand, or whatever, people love the HBCUs. I just really, really wish people just really take it into consideration when you just call and get on and just say whatever,
Right.
That's basically my 2 cents.
All right. Thank you for the call.
I appreciate it.
All right. I'm going to get these last two calls and then we're going to shut it down. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, am I live?
Yeah, you live.
Hey, okay. This is Will Smith, man. I've been listening to your show a long time. I've been bombarded with all these lies about JSU. But let me say this again. I mentioned about the meal situation. Okay, I worked at JSU for 11 years dealing with the meals and football team and all this type of stuff. Let me explain to you what they're saying. Dion has 65 scholarships, right? Mm-hmm. And he has about 100 players. Now, students have the option to live on campus or not. If a student lives off campus, they're responsible for their own meals because they're not on the meal program. So Dion was feeding the players that are not even on campus. The players that live on campus get a meal. If you don't live on campus, you do not get a meal. You decided, hey, I'm gonna live on campus. I'm gonna take it on my own. I'm gonna feed myself. So Dion knows those players can't feed themselves, so he's finding ways to feed the students. But don't sit there like Jackson State refuse to feed those students. If you're on campus, you're on a meal program. If you're not on campus, you have to deal with it for yourself. So Dion was only doing that for the players that don't live off campus. I guarantee that. Because I dealt with the meal programs at Jackson State. I know exactly how they work. So people start this rumor, oh, he didn't see it. There's so many rumors going on, people not even getting facts. That's the fact of it. And any university in the country is the same way. If you live off campus, you have to fend for yourself, or you can buy a meal plan on campus, or you just have to find ways to feed yourself. That's how it works. Right. Anyway, I just want to say that just every little thing is one after another, all this little nonsense, and that's just a part of the little puzzle too.
All right. Thanks for the call. All right.
All right, man. Bye.
What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, SWAC, bud, man, I appreciate you taking my call again. It's the man from Alabama State. First of all, one of your callers said that, you know, we didn't wish JSU a successful season. I do. I wish you guys have a successful season like I wish every HBCU does. But, you know, at the end of the day, somebody's got to win, somebody got to lose. But I don't want anything to go on with that program that affects them adversely, like I don't want any HBCU's program hurt adversely. That being said, the guy who said about not sending a child to HBCU, obviously he's never gone to one. There's an appreciation you can have from being educated by your own people and embracing the culture of your own people.
I wouldn't give it up for nothing.
You can't, me either. Now that goes for JSU, TSU, ASU, Valley, doesn't matter to me. You have to be there to understand how we feel about our HBCUs. That's as simple as that get. You can't trade that. My wife, she went to a PWI. She actually said she wished she would have went to a HBCU. I sent my children to a HBCU. I have a son that's an alum of ASU as well. I have a son that's an alum of Auburn. Now, I'm saying this about Auburn because I want to go ahead and pivot, because when he said that HBCUs mess up the money, Auburn has a new, and I guess he was in relationship to the athletic program. I'm assuming that's the direction he was going. Auburn's new head coach is Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze was fired because he was messing with that money. Folks forget his history.
Yeah.
Alabama fired their coach before they took on Coach Fran. I think I forgot his name, but he was at a strip club.
His name was Mike Price.
Mike Price. No, it wasn't Price. It was
not Price.
It wasn't Price. It might have been. I mean, whoever it was, he was at a strip club.
The guy came from Texas, El Paso, the one that came from Washington.
I forgot his name. He was just that irrelevant because they caught him in the strip club on the school credit card.
That was Price.
Okay, it was Price. Then you might be right. I don't remember. He was so doggone. It was such a small amount of time.
Yeah,
he
never coached.
Yeah. So even with that, you cannot say that all HBCUs got their hand in the cookie jar. People are people. It doesn't make a difference if they go to a HBCU, PWI, or they've never stepped foot on a college campus. If you're going to take something, you're going to take it. If you're going to have integrity, you're going to have integrity. Don't put that label on your own people. Self-hate is the worst kind of hate you can have, because there's a mirror everywhere. You can't look in one if you can't hate. You can't love yourself. What's wrong with you, brother? Now, we're not going to agree 60 minutes or 4 hours on a football field when we play each other. But after that, I ain't never really seen no HBCU fans get into no killing sprees like I've seen some of these PWIs do. We don't. We have that battle. We talk about who won the game, who won the band competition, and then we go tailgate together. That's us. Yeah. That's our culture. That's not their culture. So, brother, if you can't appreciate that, you can't appreciate what your nephew did, do us all a favor. Be quiet and shut up. That's a mic drop on that, brother. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you for the call. Yeah, man, I wouldn't give up my HBCU experience for anything. Like, some of my fondest memories just being out on the yard with my friends late at night, 12 in the morning. We just out on the plaza, just talking. Like, some of my favorite memories just us tripping out that night. Just that experience of being around your people and getting that sense of community and family. I wouldn't give it up for nothing. Let me get to the next call and we'll shut the show down. What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, my man? Look, I just saw y'all was on live. I don't know. Y'all see y'all in my feed. It must have showed up in my feed because I've been watching a lot of the Dion stuff.
Yeah.
But my guy, with all due respect, I'm calling from across the country. I'm listening to some of y'all callers. The first thing I got to say is, man, y'all saying y'all should be grateful to have Dion. I say this respectfully. Y'all a darn show should be grateful to have had that brother down there coaching y'all squad. Seriously, like, there should be nothing but gratitude for Dion coming down there. The amount of money he brought to Jackson.
So they don't have gratitude for him? I think Jackson State fans do have gratitude for him. They can't be upset with the way it ended and the way he left.
But my thing is, like, in the SWAC, I don't think y'all used to how things are done in the Power 5. Coaches leave like that all the time. And I think because y'all got access, because we can see it online, and because his son, coaches leave. I know in the ACC, they'll get a job and leave the same day and won't look back. And there'll be some assistant coaching them in the bowl game and all kind of stuff.
That's normal. They
do that all the time.
I said, yeah, that's normal. I've seen that before, but that's not why Jackson State fans are mad though or upset. They're upset.
Why are you upset?
I've never seen an ACC coach say, "Hey, I'm here to bring the ACC up, bring it back to prominence, and all this other kind of stuff," and then abruptly leave like that. And then
He did. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. This your call.
No,
Go ahead.
he did that. He did that. He made the SWAC a household name. Nobody was really watching the SWAC. I couldn't have told you all the SWAC teams before Dion got there. And that's like for a lot of for a casual football fan, he made the SWAC a part of their lexicon. He did that. Isn't Hugh Jackson over there at Grambling?
Yeah.
Eddie George?
Yeah, that's true. But what I'm saying is you can't get mad at Jackson State fans or their community or the city of Jackson for feeling upset with the way he left after saying that God brought him here to bring change and things like that. Y'all can't get upset about them feeling some type of way. That's what I'm saying.
But he did that. Like everything he said he was going to do, he's done it. He's brought big money to the city. He's brought all kind of attention down there. He made you guys the center of the football world. He got guys to the NFL. He took y'all like 13-0, which has never been soon to be 13-0. It's never been done before. Where's the line? What he said he was going to do?
And they're grateful. They're grateful for that. Most of the people I've talked to from Jackson, they said that I'm so glad he came and everything. They just hate the way it was done. They hate him flying to Colorado and putting out videos the same night of the SWAC championship. The same night you putting out videos that you're touring this other school facility while your team and your school is supposed to be celebrating their championship. You can't tell them not to feel some type of way about that.
I can't tell them to feel, how to feel about it, but the rest of the country is still looking at some of the Jackson State fans like they crazy. Like just because he left the same night, it happens all the time with these big D1 schools. It happens all the time. Nick Saban will win a playoff game and leave that same night to go recruit some players and stuff like that. Like this happens all the time. It's just the fact y'all saw it and we witnessed it in real time. It might have hit a little different, but to be real with you, I mean, in these situations, like, the guy got to recruit for next season because he's now with a new squad. So he can't miss out on the whole recruiting element, and he's got to start his promotion the same way he did at Jackson to go ahead and bring in new recruits. He's still going to be coaching in the Celebration Bowl. He really don't have to do that. And I low-key think Jackson State's president is going to try to pull some stunt and be like, nah, we don't want you to coach in the bowl game. I kind of do feel like that. And then some of the callers are calling up saying, oh, yeah, well, I hope he lose at Colorado. Man, that man ain't going to lose at no Colorado. If he made Jackson State 13-0, yeah.
But could you blame them if they didn't want him to coach? Because usually coaches don't coach in the bowl games. Usually they don't coach in the bowl games.
Yes, I would blame them because
usually they don't, because you got your coach that he's already recruiting for this other school, and it's just a bad look when he's still the coach of the other school and he's recruiting for this other school. That it's a bad look, and it's a kind of like a conflict of interest. So a lot of ADs and presidents, they don't let that happen. They can go on and do what they need to do. That's why you'll see the assistant coach or whatever coaching the bowl game.
Because it's not a conflict of interest, because he's not going to be playing. He's not in the FCS, I think. So he's not even playing. He's not even going to a D1 AA school.
When I say conflict of interest, I'm not meaning like an actual conflict of interest. I'm talking about it just looks weird to be a Jackson State coach recruiting for Colorado. It just looks weird. You know what I'm saying? So most schools, they wouldn't allow that to happen. They'll just let the coach go on and go. And even Coach Prime said that. He said that this is not normal. This is something that's different. And he's glad that the two ADs are letting this happen because it's not normal. They don't usually do stuff like that.
All right, I'll touche. I will concede to that part. But it's like I said, I know I know it's a fan base down there in Jackson, and they don't want to see their coach leave. But at the same time, I mean, with a lot of the stuff that's being alleged that went on down there at Jackson, and with Jackson State's administration, and I think some of it is true, but a lot of that stuff that goes on.
This is what I don't like. Y'all see rumors and you just say, I think it's true. I think it's true because it's
That's just me
juicy.
personally.
It's juicy gossip. And for some reason, our people love negativity. We love,
So
that's why a lie can go farther than the truth. You know, when Jackson State came out
okay,
and put out their statement responding to that rumor, nobody barely shared that. Nobody shared that. But everybody and
because the way I read the rebuttal, it didn't sound like they was denying it. It was kind of that fine line stuff. Well, technically, he wasn't talking about us. They didn't flat out say, "Yo, we gave him the money for the ticket sales over 30,000. This didn't happen. That didn't happen." It was like some technical. Oh well, we was gonna build this building anyway. He really did give up half his salary to help to get that building finished because it was kind of sitting there dragging and lollygagging on. You can see it online because I remember at the beginning of the season he was talking about it. I know y'all was gonna put in on it to get it built and get it finished. So are they lying? Let me ask you this, because I'm not from Jackson. I've only been through Jackson twice. Going into the vet, was there one entrance in and out of that stadium?
No, what are you talking about? 1 inch in and out of the stadium.
Man, people saying, I've heard people say that they claim when they went down there to go see a Jackson State game, there was only one way into the vet. There was only one entrance or one access to get in the darn vet, and it was like forever to get in the stadium.
That's false. I've been going to games at the vet since I was a toddler. There might have not been that many entrances. Maybe before Pros Prime got there, they probably had like two or three on each side of the stadium. And I think when he came, they opened up more entrances so people could get in quicker. But that's crazy. That would be crazy to have one entrance for a 60,000 seat stadium. That would be crazy.
That's a fire hazard. That's a fire hazard.
Yeah. So if fire go on, any kind of accident go on, you only got one entrance to get out. That'd be crazy. But I appreciate the call. Let me get to the next. All right. What's going on, Carl? You live? Talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, talk to me.
Man, I just want to say, man, some of these calls, man, that you guys.
Go ahead. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I just want to say, man, some of these callers, man, have been crazy on him lately. But I just want to say a couple of things. And one, I'm a reference that I just feel bad for Valley right now. Valley haven't had a coach this good since Willie Todd. And it's the first time Willie Todd was coaching back in the early 90s. It's going to be hard for Valley to get a coach like that again. My other topic to hit on Prime, I'm not mad at Prime. And here's the reason why I say I'm not mad at Prime. Because I knew Prime wasn't going to stay at Jackson State forever. And I think sometimes, even with us, we have to learn how to rejoice when others rejoice. Not saying that, Prime did us dirty or et cetera, but we got to learn how to rejoice when our other friends or brothers are rejoicing from that standpoint. Outside of that, to me, it's just one of those things where people got to be able to understand the game of football. And what I mean about that is, coaches are going to leave. But I can't be mad at Prime because I knew Prime wasn't going to stay there for 5 or 6 years, but I at least thought Prime would stay there until his son graduated, and that's being Shador. I thought he was going to stay there until Shador graduated. But, hey, I understand. But, again, my heart goes out to Valley because I used to go to Valley. And I know that Valley football program, and we all know this, is underfunded. They lack resources, et cetera. But I can for sure say that this previous coach that we had, he's been the best coach that we probably had in the last 10 to 15 years before the first of Willie Todd was when Willie Todd was the coach back in the early 90s to the 2000s.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. All right, let me get this last call. We got the mayor, Lumumba. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to talk about one issue that I'm having with this this Dion thing, and it revolves around the money. You know, it's a lot of rumors going out there about Jackson State and things like that. But when it comes to the rumor of financial mismanagement, that's something that can tear a program down. You know, that's make it hard for you to recruit a new coach when they come into an environment where they have to worry about how they're gonna get paid. Sponsorships. Sponsors don't want to be attached to an administration that is stealing money and it's so public. Now, the first thing I want to talk about with these tickets were sold digitally. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Not the old way back in the day where they give you a paper ticket stub, right?
Yeah.
So all of this money that came into the stadium is recorded in some kind of a database on some server somewhere. So there's no way they can finagle the numbers. That's the first thing. The second thing, I'm sure they are paying Prime through wire transfers or direct deposit. They ain't cut him a check. I don't think they're doing that. So what I want, I'm disappointed in Dion because he sees these rumors out there. I'm not saying he put them out there. They came from somewhere else. But you see these rumors out there. Either you pinpoint the person who did the shicey stuff in the administration, or you come out and you say these rumors are not true, because him just sitting back in inaction and letting these rumors fester is hurting Jackson State, which is a program you said, you know, that you love, you know, and you wanted to do right by. So just by him not even saying anything says a lot about his character to me. Because you see how these rumors are affecting the schools, and they everywhere. I'm seeing white people posting on YouTube. I'm seeing major news outlets talking about it. And you just going to sit back and not say anything about it. Now, number two, I'm disappointed in the Jackson State administration. And to me, it shows incompetence. If somebody's putting rumors out about the money, man, we don't have to go back and forth because men lie, women lie. Show the receipts. You know you got the receipts if you paid the man. I wouldn't put out no statement saying I paid the man. I would put out a statement saying, here are the payments. End of discussion. So that's all I wanted to say on that.
I appreciate the call.
All right.
All right, let me shout out the people that contributed to the channel tonight through Super Chat. The Ghost of Judah Tribe, appreciate the contribution. Rob 870, thank you for the contribution. The Cut 2009, thank you for the Super Chat and the contribution. And Sonny Robinson, thank you for the contribution tonight. Appreciate y'all for contributing to the channel. Mr. Ford, you can go ahead and close us out.
Listen, I just want everybody to pray for AD Ashley Robinson and for the President Hudson, that we would select the right person to lead this Jackson State football program forward, and look forward to a great Celebration Bowl on next Saturday. I think it's 12 noon on ABC.
Yeah, I'll be there.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah. And listen, everybody else, y'all have a great night. And now, once again, when you coming on again, SWAC?
Probably be the middle of the week or right before I leave, because I fly out Friday morning. So I get to Atlanta Friday morning.
Okay, you'll be here in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'll be in Atlanta
Friday
morning.
Okay,
yeah.
So you saying maybe Tuesday or Wednesday?
It'll probably be like Wednesday. It'll probably be Wednesday when I do another live.
Okay, probably about what, 8, 9? Okay, look forward to hearing. Listen, y'all have a good night.
All right, thank you, Ms. Ford. Yeah, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. I appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. We had a lot of good conversation. We went long tonight. We over 3 hours. I almost hit 3 hours and 30 minutes. So make sure y'all hit that like button so more people can see the stream and in the replay game. I hope y'all enjoy the content when y'all hear the replay back. But appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. and I'm gonna catch you all on the next one. I'm gone.